Hello, Craig. Hello, GameBot. I want to start by apologizing for the state of my voice, both for you two and for anybody else having to listen to this in the future. I just got over being sick. Um, we last session on Well Dressed Bones, we were starting the rehearsal dinner, wedding rehearsal party for Metal Vaunt. Um, After a bachelorette party of a sort that was sort of fraught and stressful. The gang is now coming to Metal's rehearsal. Um, and as the wedding is being put on, both by, in the form of her aunt, Cadence Dentel, and at the location of the Society for Better Governance, it is sort of a rich person's shindig, and so while a rehearsal dinner would normally be a much more casual affair, this is still a fancy party. It is just the slightly less fancy party of the wedding itself, which will be happening tomorrow. Um, as our party arrived, there was a little bit of getting ready. Elise came in, fixing Cal's hair and getting everybody zhuzhed up, while Cal also noticed that Elise, although she did kind of feed and recover herself and get some of her energy back, is also wearing a illusory ring that is making her look even more beautiful and fresh-faced, something she would not normally have to rely on, so is a sign that she is kind of tapped out, having put everything into her own recovery and is still recovering from spending so long in the death realm. Um, and um, uh, there was also a little bit of a kerfuffle at the door. Certain people not being properly on the guest list. Isle, of course, being explicitly banned from the event. You managed to find her pretending to be a horse out front, hoping to be taken to the stable behind the security line, but with Fish's help as the horse whisperer, able to get her out of sight so she could turn into a snake and become Elise's living accessory. Um, there was also a little bit of a problem with Fish being allowed in, as Fish had been strucken from the guest roles, but having to be forced in as a +1 of sorts, an unofficial +1 to Sinner Drum, who happened to know and potentially have some history with the guards working security and getting them in the door. As you all enter into this party, you stop at the top of the stairs, waiting for some people in front of you to finish getting announced. As you look upon this incredibly formal, fancy occasion. And it is here, before we do anything else, that I will have each of you make a, or rather, I will have all of you make a group perception check. With the exception of Elise, who is doing her own perception check from herself, because she has no need or desire to share that information.
That's a 19 for me.
21 for me.
Okay,
18.
19, 21, 18, all good rolls. Let's get Sinners and Jamal's in here.
Come on, Jamal. Level 4. Wait, did Jamal
Yeah,
go up a level?
Jamal is kind of bringing down the average just a little bit, you know?
Did Jamal go up a level? He did
Is
a
he
lot
5?
in that last
Is
arc.
he 5?
He's not 5, but
Damn.
I
He
will
should
consider it.
be.
One day.
Okay, 10. And
If Snake could get a nat 20, that'd be great.
let's see. Sinner is here with a... Okay, 5.
Oh, baby.
So unfortunately, they do drag the average down just a little bit. So that is going to get us to about an average of, say, 14 or 15.
Ugh.
With that, you look out over this room. You are at sort of this top gallery, and what you see is a recessed room below you, where the level you're on, wrapping around into a balcony around the outside. Fish and Cal know from experience that this is sort of the main area, but there are some side areas. There is a couple of side dancing halls and event rooms, but also a number of smoking rooms and lounges and things like that off to the side that are very purposely designed seemingly for private meetings and, illegal monopoly building and things like that. There is also a elevator hidden near the back that that will go to the third and fourth floor, which just have some office space, but is a more private area as well. As you all look out onto this place, you first see the layout. On the far side of the room, away from you, is the chairs laid out, the altar, clearly the wedding area with the wedding arch. Behind it, a small speaking stage, a rostrum that doesn't seem to be used for the ceremony, but is decorated with two large banners. One, a crown of teeth on an azure field, sign of the Dentel Legacy House, and the other, a ship being broken in half by a kraken on a field of sable, House Anchorage. And you see some guests that are sort of mingling in that area, getting ready, especially a priestly looking man dressed in robes. And you can see that, especially as Sinner clocks the design of the two entwined golden circles of those who worship the Faceless Ones, the brow just drops in anger as he notices signs of at least blessed by the Faceless Ones, wedding ceremony. Beyond where the wedding area is, off to the left and right, where Fish and Cal know are sort of the private meeting rooms and lounges and things like that. That area seems to have a little bit of people coming in and out, all wearing very nice clothes. And with a 15, I think you do see, at least those of you who recognize Lady Dentel, slipping into one of those rooms. It seems like those have probably been taken over by the bridal and groom's party. Closer to you from the wedding area is sort of a clear space, a mingling area, maybe a dance floor later. Off to the side, a small stage where a string quartet is playing. Mostly people just kind of mingling in conversation, a lot of very finely dressed people, some of which you recognize. Off to the left, down below, is a sort of catering station. Nothing so gauche as a buffet for this crowd, but a small locale where these rotating waiters come by to pick up fresh flutes of champagne and nibbles, and disappearing into the door back there, probably a kitchen area. To the right, past the stage with the quartet, a few doors leading back that Cal and Fish remember very unfondly as the side rooms where a duel happened the last time they were here. And as Cal and Fish kind of take a moment to remember, flashes of memory, gunshots in the distance, blood on the ground, scythes everywhere. And then back at the party. With a 15, you noticed some guests down below that you recognize. First of all, is there anyone you were looking for specifically?
No, just that Fish is doing Eldritch Sight, but we can cover that in a sec.
I think May is probably looking for people who seem to be the center of attention. Like, the it people of the room.
The people of the room. Okay.
Cal is
Anyone?
looking for, in a very dropping order reports. Abbott Pagan, and then the Yellowtail.
Okay. As you are looking out over the crowd, May sort of focusing on the ebb and flow of people and conversations, but familiar with these kind of parties know that powers kind of attract their own circle of attendance. You notice one that is seemingly the most powerful in the room that you can notice, kind of the biggest circle of people, the most people who are like waiting on the edges, having different conversations, but clearly like turned towards this person as if they're waiting for a moment of their attention. A older woman in a very nice dress, looking almost grandmotherly, if a grandmother in the line of somebody's harsh mistress who does not tolerate disrespect. And she is wearing colors the same as the symbol of the Anchorage family. I don't think you're familiar enough with sort of the players here to know her, but Fish has had a chat with her very briefly before, and so would be able to share to the group that this is Lady Anchorage, the grandmother of the groom and his twin sister, and one of the sort of powers here in the society and in Canada for the Anchorage legacy family.
Would point her out specifically, to May, assuming that she wouldn't know, and then also be like, and there's the sister.
As you look out and you see who Fish describes, probably not getting her name right on the first attempt, but Woden Anchorage.
Woden, interesting.
She is dressed in a pretty attention-seeking way for a wedding reception. It's not a wedding dress. It's not really cut on the lines of a wedding dress. It is a very big, loud dress. There is a big, like, fascinator hat at a jaunty angle, like one of the huge brimmed ones, little feathers and dangly bits coming off of it. An incredibly poofy dress, very much like a sort of a peacock, look at me kind of look. And there are certainly a number of people paying attention to her, but she is sort of like in the outskirts of her grandmother's circle, and therefore it's all kind of part of the same center of attention. The other center of attention that you notice is who you would recognize as Elder Delore, one of the Council of Elders for the Canadian Sanctuary, sort of holding court a little bit to one side. And I think she has a lot of hangers-on, a lot of people coming to speak with her and get her opinion on things. You are perhaps a little surprised to see how much less of an influence she is having on this room than Lady Anchorage, considering she is, at least theoretically, significantly more powerful and influential. As you look next to her, you see that there are some scythes here. There are specifically 4 of them along the wall. 2 of them are kind of shadowing her. Another are shadowing maybe someone else. May would probably not think anything of this, just because it's not uncommon to have security at these kind of balls and events. Fish and Cal would recognize and point out to them that that is interesting, because it does sort of show this tacit agreement that, like, the security of the society is not good enough to protect them, and you'll remember that last event you went to, there were no sides, and that was a huge problem because they were attacked, and the sides had to be teleported in, and it was the major thing that allowed people to get hurt. So you recognize 4 sides as probably low for protecting Sanctuary VIPs, but enough to support the security without being insulting. Bringing your own army. Because May is shifting her attention from the Elder to the Scythes, she then looks to see where the other sides are watching and sees, chatting together off to the side, a couple of people looking like they're coming up to chat with them, and then just kind of either just getting a quick conversation and kind of being forced away by lack of friendliness or not getting an opportunity to speak, is former administrator Tone and current Arcanist Gof, who are having a chat off to one side.
Hell yeah.
They got a 19.
Yep.
Okay.
May was like, fuck fucking socializing. Me and Gopher are getting drunk.
Yeah, let's go party.
May's like, I need to talk to Ghost so he can figure out how to make this fucking badge work for me. That is her immediate thought.
Yeah. With May's 19, I think you just kind of watch this for a moment and you realize that the sides are shadowing Gof, not the former administrator. It may be that the administrator is no longer the administrator and therefore not associated with the sanctuary in any official capacity. But it is kind of clear that they are following and keeping an eye on Gof.
Interesting.
Rather than him. As Cal looks out looking for enemies, she does not see Abbot Pagan. Abbot Pagan is either not present or is, sequestered away somewhere. But you also don't see any of her henchmen, and she was someone who traveled with a lot of cronies, so you do think you would see at least one if she was both invited and had arrived, even if she was not currently visible. So yeah, you think she's not here. Secondly, Niel as you really focus in and scan the crowd for her, absolutely here with her husband.
Yeah, Cal fully goes over to Fish and is elbow point.
Yeah, look over there.
They didn't see that.
And then Fish using Eldritch Sight. I think because you are getting a big sense of the room, and you can see that some people are going in and out of doors and going kind of out of view, things like that. If you wait or want to do it later, we can do more specifically seeing individuals. But unless you want to pick out individuals right now to focus on and see whether they are infected or not, I can instead give you kind of a general sense of how much there is in this room.
Okay.
If you want to list people you want to specifically look for or check, you can. But otherwise, I'll just give it in general.
Yeah, at this time, it's not a specific thing. They're going to look at specific people as they pass them. But just from the top down, having this huge vantage point, just how much of this is a cloud of possession, You
look out and you see less than you would expect. But while it is some gray, you also see some very quick flits of black that you think may be actual remnants rather than gray remnants. But still, less than you would expect. This is, maybe ultimately unimportant on a worldwide scale, but at least on a local scale, these are some of the most powerful people in kind of North America. And you're like, I would expect this to be more of a target. it's interesting, but you're definitely looking out on this, and you're like, you know, in a roster of like probably 200 people that are in this room, I'm seeing like maybe enough movement for like 20 to 30 at most. And it's like, I kind of expected it to be everybody. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so from there, they're gonna like take a winding path around the whole room just to be like, Lady Dentel, Lady Anchorage, Niello, just to get the key players and see who's affected.
Okay. You can take a lap around the balcony to kind of get everybody who's like out and about. That does limit your options because you're not like checking the side rooms. You're not like going and seeing the people who are with Metal, which is probably her aunt because you saw her disappear that way.
Yeah.
But you can get sort of specific people without being seen and approached yourself. Otherwise, you can do your full like entrance and just kind of circulate on the understanding that you can check people out, including people that are maybe kind of hidden a little bit, but you will probably be stopped by conversations and
Yeah.
people wanting to talk to you and things like that.
A balcony lap sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, a balcony lap. Then we will do everybody else's introductions, and Fish will be last, which means Sinner will wait for you, probably staring just like a hole into a guy you vaguely remember from the last time you were here that looks like a religious guy, which, that's Gal's domain. Who gives a shit? As you take a lap. Searching through, you were just saying all the important players. You were saying Lady Anchorage. Lady Anchorage has a gray remnant.
Yep.
Woden Anchorage does not have any sort of remnant that you see. As you continue in your lap around, you look at Niello and her husband. No remnant. You do think you see a remnant in someone you were talking to last time who was a very important figure in the society, but was not someone I gave a name to. It was one of the randos you were chatting to, was Jim Herring. You think you see them with a gray remnant, but then it kind of moves, and you think it might actually be like one of the wait staff that has it. So it may not be necessarily all the important players, or maybe it's like, they're going to be infected as part of this event, and that's how you get the remnants in, or whatever. You're looking through, and these kind of important people, some of them are infected with gray remnants. None of them that you can see are infected with black remnants, and as you're looking closer, you're not getting a view of any of them specifically. Tone is not infected, and in fact, as you look at Tone, seeming to like feel your gaze, Tone fully turns around and looks up at the balcony at you.
Fish does a respectful nod, bow.
You see a little nod of the beads before he goes back to speaking to Goph. Goph is also totally clear. And as you look at Goph, there's something a little bit weird about what you're seeing. You can try and give me an Arcana check about it.
Okay. Bad.
Has Fish checked Elise at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say Inca's not explicitly said that, so I was not gonna say Elise.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was like, Inca hasn't said it, but in character, she would have
absolutely like the first
round.
moment that they. Yeah.
You have checked Elise just kind of like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like she disappeared to get ready. You had to check her when she came back.
Yep. In fact, I'm going to point out the specific moment that they last checked, which is when they came up and put Isle the snake around her and was like, I don't like you and you don't like me, but I'm just checking if you have a remnant in you, and goodbye.
And Elise is like, I like you lots.
Yeah, I like you a lot. Then, in that case, no, Elise does not have any remnant contamination.
That's what I thought, motherfucker.
What was that Arcana check?
Oh, it was 7.
Okay. With a 7, your Eldritch Sight is not really looking at. Well, you don't really have the education to know exactly what you're looking at when you look at people with Eldritch Sight. It's almost like It's almost like their magic self, like a magic representation of themselves, made up of the pathways magic moves through their body. And Gophs just looks like weird to you, not in a bad way, not in a way that is like tainted by remnants, but in a way that is potentially like maybe broken a little bit or fucked up.
Okay.
You're not sure why.
I personally feel like Fish has seen a magically ambidextrous person before, even if they don't necessarily know what that means, but like, is this similar to what that looks like?
You think that it with a 7,
Yeah.
you think that is not what is happening.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, as you continue around the room, I am not sure there's like other specific people you want to point out. Lady Dentel is unfortunately in one of the side rooms.
Not
You'd
here
have to
right
kind
now.
of chase her down. But as you're circling the room, yeah, you're seeing this kind of like some people you do need to be aware of that they have a gray remnant like Lady Anchorage, but it seems like for the most part, obviously you're probably going to want to check like when you're talking to people, but it looks like not a lot of like important players have it here.
Yep.
Give me one more perception check for something very specific.
Okay. That's another 7.
Okay, I'll see it. Then we will start with people's introductions. As as the others approach the kind of stop of the staircase, there is a man dressed in what it looks to May like it started as very old-timey, like kind of standard English livery that has now kind of morphed over time of being in the colonies. But there is an announcer, as if to a grand ball or the king's court, standing there with a staff of office to announce those as they come down the stairs, and you're sort of watching the people in front of you go. Elise is up first. She, as she's striding towards the announcer at the top of the stairs, snake, positioned properly on her neck. You see her call up a little bit of magic and bring it into her dress, and her dress and veil start to sparkle and shine as if in some way they've like captured the stars just a little bit. And she is going to be announced and do her performance role. Introducing Reverend Mother Elysium Shepherd of the First Church of the Bountiful Harvest. As Elise steps down the stairwell, and many people turn and look at her as a eye-catching figure. Let me do our performance check with advantage. Good thing she had advantage. That is a 22 on her performance check. As Elise walks down the stairs, you sort of hear the rumble of conversation in the background start to quiet as more people turn their attention to Elise, and you can see kind of hustling through the crowd is this cleric with this faceless one's symbol. Elise had a great introduction and therefore is at the bottom of number 2, needs some extra stuff to get to number 3, but has a +2 on her reputation. As she steps forward to chat with this man, who would like to go next?
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Cal is attending this event as 2 people because she's stupid.
Yes.
Would she, to get proper advantage for both of her personas, need to be like introduced, go down the stairs, then like shadow walk back up as May's companion, and then get introduced again?
If you want to, I will say that because you are not necessarily going to use any advantage you get as the Abbot Colliginous Denier, you can essentially do that, but we'll just do the one performance roll for Claire Dennis or whoever you decide to be, because that is the one you will actually be using the reputation of.
Okay.
All right, and on the way down the stairs, we were talking about this off camera. You sort of weave shadows into a cape and veil to hide
nobody
yourself.
sees her face. Like maybe I think, but I think she did that by the point that she like went up to the doorman.
There was probably a moment where everybody was distracted with the horse between Cal stepping out onto the street and reaching the others, in which she veiled and got her cape of shadows up.
Yeah. And then does Jamal have to roll a performance check?
Yeah.
My poor boy. Yeah, so I will, I guess, save the performance for not the Abbot, but Cal will do a crypt prayer and cast guidance on Jamal.
Okay, alright. Let's do a quick guidance. Okay, we'll get that D4. There we go. And we will see what Jamal rolls. Introducing the Abbot Colliginous Denier, the Temple of the Earth's Collapse, and companion, as they come down the stairs. What does your guidance look like as you cast it?
I'm assuming Jamal looks nervous as fuck. So, Cal is looking at him and does, bows her head and does a quick prayer of just being like, saints guide him, next to Jamal, and just then, like, gives him, like, a very light, like, pat on the back.
Okay. Jamal's charisma is not terrible. It's just
Level
a +0.
4!
It's just +0. You know, he's got a -2 to Dex.
Yeah, that tracks.
But
That
will be a 14 performance for Jamal. As glides down the stairs, 14 is just enough to put him into +1.
Ah, interesting.
As he heads down, Cal slips off to the side and shadow walks back up to the balcony, probably just as Fish is finishing their rounds. That will be introducing the acclaimed researcher May Gladly and companion.
And May has her arm out ready to, like, for Cal to slip her elbow through. So we just need to walk down together. Alright, let's do this performance, oh baby.
Everyone's like, May Gladly has a girlfriend!
She hit that rebound real fast.
That's a dirty 20, and I'm going to flash a genius up to
25 or 24?
24.
Such a fast
24.
rebound. The ex is still in attendance.
The ex doesn't even know he's the ex yet.
Yeah.
That's very true. Okay, and what does Caligulus/Claire Dennis get for her performance?
It better not bring mine down. Oh, does it affect me? It better fucking not.
As your companion, it affects you a little bit,
Okay.
but it's mostly like a high roll and a low roll will kind of balance each other out a little bit, as the low roll will not be as distracting with the somebody rolling really high next to you.
What horrible
You said
number
it-
did you get?
You said it was performance.
Performance, yes.
It was a modified 6 that was in that one.
Okay. With a modified 6, May goes from being solidly in +2 range to at the lower end of +2 range, right where
Okay.
Elise is. Cal is in -1.
Everybody goes, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Is
Um,
he
This
cheating
clumsy
us? Who's
arse.
this for?
I think Cal is actually trying to, like, don't bring any attention to me, don't draw a connection between me and the abbot that just went down. Obviously, I'm a different person, and just kind of, like, disappears into the shadow of May. May is, like, perhaps waving to everybody, making eye contact with people she knows, and giving a
May is cunting
graceful
down the stairs.
bob of the head. Cal, like, fully in trying to disappear behind May, like, actually is slower and therefore doesn't end up walking with her, just ends up like walking like 2 or 3 steps behind her, and makes just really no impression whatsoever, which means that everyone you're going to talk to, at least in the very beginning, is going to be confused about whether you snuck into this party, since they don't remember you. They don't remember you being introduced.
Hey, at least me switching who Cal is doing her performance check does not hit the one that needs to actually have a good reputation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then introducing security consultant Sinner Drum and companion. As Sinner, like, doesn't immediately steps forward, too busy glaring at the person talking to Elise, but then as Fish kind of, like, gets up after the round and is like, oh, right, and starts heading down. I need a performance check from Fish as well as Sinner.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it could be better. That's a 16.
Okay. Well, Sinner got a 9. So,
It's not his week. It's not his month. It's
yeah,
not his year.
it's not his week. You can
be
hear
there for you.
Fish can hear a little bit of chatter about people like, oh, Sinner Drum. I've heard that name. Anybody who's watching can see Sinner kind of like focused on this cleric to the exclusion of like the rest of the room, and sort of draw into himself a little bit. Fish hears a little bit of people being like, oh, Sinner Drum, and who's that burly man with him?
Sinner has cast fucking N small self for that to
Yeah.
happen.
Fish just gives him a real quick pat on the back and just goes like, hey, big guy, good luck. See you down there.
Nobody comes up to Fish and is like, hello, Mr. Drum, because Fish would be like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you,
Yes. Then, as you all make your entrances, you are ready to mingle. Since since Cal was the first one down, after Elise, Cal is the one who notices a man at the bottom of the stairs, sort of taking people's coats and scarves. Kind of a interesting shaped man, very like kind of bulky torso over like kind of scrawny legs. In his suit coat, Cal notices that it's absolutely fitted wrong. Like, this is not how a coat of this kind is supposed to lie. Obviously, this guy needs to get a new tailor. And I think it is as Cal is getting to the bottom that she hears Jamal go, "Oh no." That he looks up, and you see obviously someone not actually employed as the coat check man, an old friend of yours and an old friend of Metal's, Samuel Lee Stillwater, who ruined your first date with Jamal, or at least tried to. Seemingly, as you get closer, wearing decently nice shirt and pants, but has clearly like pretended to be a coat check man to take people's jackets and then put some of those jackets on. So he's just wearing a sports coat over a sports coat over like a tux. And as during your date, he is wearing a very obviously fake mustache. As you reach the bottom before you teleport back up to May, he says, "Bonjour, Signorna. Can I take your cloak?"
Cal just ignores it.
Cal sort of drifts down, acknowledging the others, passing by Samuel Lee. You hear Jamal next to you go, "Go away! Go away!" And yes, you pass out into the room enough to sneak away and get back up to May. Samuel Lee's here, unfortunately.
It's just like, now it's a party.
Now it's a party. As everybody else comes down and joins the reception, who do you go and chat with? Who do you approach? Who do you look for? What do you do?
I think that May, given everything she has going on, is going to look for people who may be part.
Who may be
part what?
May be part of the house.
Oh, okay. Give me an insight check.
Sure. And so I get a +2 to that, yeah?
Correct.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
On top of my normal modifier.
Yes.
Yeah. 21. Dirty, obviously.
21. From what you have experienced of the house, it is an influential organization, but it is also an organization dedicated to knowledge and the preserving of knowledge. You look out over this crowd and see a lot of people who you, in your opinion, probably don't read that much.
Yeah, she's not surprised.
There are some people you, with a 21, you recognize some people who are at least semi-famous kind of patrons of the arts, people who you were maybe hoping for an introduction to get your dig financed, but ultimately that's not the kind of thing they patronize for the most part. But you see like a financier who famously is supportive of the New York Ballet, and you see someone famous for their art collection that they donate to museums. These are the kind of people that you're like, maybe they could be in the house. And you could approach, and maybe by showing a sign or giving a passphrase, be like, "Hey, are you also?" But you think the vast majority of people here are not.
Okay.
Anyone like that you want to approach?
Instead of approaching right away, can I take a second, insider perception or whatever, to see if there's anyone who looks like they might be part of the Maharu?
Absolutely. We can use that same insight roll because
I would
you're
love
looking
that.
at you see that although Lady Anchorage does not have any sign of belonging to the Maharu, a lot of the people talking to her do. People have little pins on their lapel that have the Maharu logo. You see a little like cufflinks that are little onks. It has definitely the fashion has definitely reached this side of the ocean, and there are a number of people here who are at least kind of virtue signaling that they may be part of this organization, whether or not they actually are.
Okay. I think. Sorry, I might have a little think about what May's going to do next.
That's okay. Someone else can go. Yeah.
Fish goes on over to Gof and Tone and is very nice and polite about it, and gives them each like a bow and goes, Arcanist, former administrator. How the hell are you?
As you go up, Tone gives you a honestly more respectful than he did when you worked for him, nod and greeting. Obviously, you're not his problem anymore. But Gof is straight up just like, hey, Fish, how the hell are you? And brings you in for like a big hug, clasp on the back, and says,
100%,
I've found out so many fun things that I want to share with you, right? So I found this thing, and it explodes when you expose it to water, right? But it also doesn't explode if you eat it. Let me know how I found that out. You want to know? Of course you want to know. I drank it accidentally. So,
of course you did.
So I'm experimenting with the way that a magic field like those that are inherent in the body sort of suppresses the explosive effect, and if that has other applications, right? Immediately, like, you were a friend he just hasn't seen in like a week. You last talked to him like a month ago because you were getting some stuff for the death adventure, but before that you haven't really talked to him in quite a long time, and that was a very short conversation. Immediately best friends, wants to catch up with you, is saying unfortunately Jaw couldn't be here because because somebody had to stay with the sanctuary, and but he got picked to go, which is fun because they so rarely let him out of there, kind of like gesturing to the sides, and just immediately friendly, catching up with you. Former Administrator Tone is just like, it's good to see you again, former Agent Fish, and it is nice to see you supporting your friend Miss Vaught on this special occasion.
A very special one it is, and how could I not support her? I'd like to preemptively say, do not worry, I will not be making a fool of myself this time.
Yes, this place brings back some poor memories, but at least if you do make a fool of yourself, it will only be Miss Vaught hurt, not the others. So, feel free.
I don't need your permission.
I've missed you, Fish. Only slightly. But a bit.
How's the sister?
As it was well. Just returned from a trip to the homelands.
Yes.
Vacation has given me a lot of perspective on things. Ultimately reinforced that I was right to leave my post.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you on that one. I'm really glad that you're, more comfortable being out of office.
Give me a insight check with disadvantage. His tone is very hard to read at the best of times.
Yeah, and he wears the beads. Yes. 5.
Okay.
Wait. 6.
6. Okay. With a 6, you're not sure if you're imagining it or not, but maybe Tone is like talking to you and about you with some fondness, and you're like, okay, so this is a trap. clearly.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna get me like in trouble or something.
I'm not gonna fucking
This
talk
is,
to him more than I have to.
yeah, this is a trap, very obviously. But yeah, but that's what you get from kind of his talking to you. He's being a little friendlier to you than he should be, and it's weird, and you don't like it because obviously it's a trap. Gove doesn't seem to notice anything wrong with it, and is just like, yeah, he brought me back a souvenir. It was real nice. And so I was working on this other thing, and, the souvenir was really important. My table was a little wobbly, so I used it to balance the table. And then I was talking to Tony, and he was like, you can't do that with a souvenir. It's fragile. And I was like, okay, I'll do something else. And, but it's good. It's a little statuette thing, and you kind of like pull down on the arm, and the head comes off, and it's got like a little flame inside, and it's like a lighter thing. And it's, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. All my lighters are just normal, boring ones. That's so cool.
That is, there's a lot. One thing that so that actually reminds me. One thing I've been experimenting with. I've been trying to find a fuel that is more compacted than like stuff you would use for lighters normally, and that's why I was looking at this thing that combusts. And so I think that you could kind of compress the amount of fuel space in a lighter, and you can either make it lighter that kind of like works forever, or you got enough space to put in some other doodads. You got a lighter that's also a pocket knife that turns into like a little helicopter thing, and then
you gotta tell me about that.
Oh yeah, is May here?
Yeah, she's over there. Do you see her in the dress? It's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, no, it's showing a lot of leg.
She's in the leg mood.
May was like in the middle of doing the very elegant like walk down. May.
Yeah, maybe we'll go over.
As you join Fish, Tone gives you a nod as well and says, "Arcanist, a pleasure."
Tone, it's rather good to see you. Your holiday agrees with. Do I see a hint of tan beneath those beads?
Tone, kind of like motions almost like he's gonna tuck his hair / beads behind his ears, but actually doesn't. But you do see that that like the exposure between his gloves and his sleeves is actually a little darker. Like he did get a bit of a tan, and you're like, oh, very nice. He says, perhaps, although of course it was more about the travel and the company.
Of course.
The journey over the destination, man. Yeah.
How have you kept yourself, Miss Gladly?
I think it should be obvious that I've kept myself rather well. But did you hear the new cleric now?
Really? In what temple?
Well, I might have made a trip to the the library. What was it called again? I'm blanking. Me, personally.
It has two names: the Archive of the Wandering Soul, or the Gorgon Temple / Gorgon Library.
Yeah, the Archive of the Wandering Soul. She would say that.
One is like a very high level like title, and the other is like the place. It's like the City of Love versus Paris.
Yes, the Archive of the Wandering Soul.
Oh, that is very impressive. I cannot say I know much about their tests, but I have heard rumors, and that qualifies you for this rank among many necromancers. I wasn't aware you were exploring that religion.
Oh, I'm not. Winks.
She is an explorer.
It's true, I do. I am. You know how it is.
Yeah, and like just take a look at her, Tone. Can't you see that she's that there's just a different thing about her, that she's almost changed for the better? Wink. Can you see it too?
Tone cannot see it
Fish goes,
naturally,
look with your special eyes!
but he does have a very high insight, so I am going to roll to see if he kind of like gets your meaning.
Yeah, which is the meaning is
Get that thing out of her.
May is minorly has a minor compromised level.
Okay. With an 11, that is a 28 insight. Um, yes. Tone has the highest insight of any character I have ever chatted.
Jesus!
Necromancers like Cal have a feature called Expertise, where you can choose something to add double your proficiency bonus to. Tone has that just for insight.
Love him. I've missed him so.
Tone has really tried to turn over a new leaf, which means that he is not going to be pressing on people's minds without permission or a very
Certainly.
good reason. So he notices that something is kind of layered beneath your words, and you were trying to hint at something having to do with May. He's not entirely sure what, but you can kind of see that he's like clocked that you're saying something, and then sort of continues to have a normal conversation with May, and you're like, he might approach you kind of separately when you're away from everyone else to be like, was there something you wanted to share with me or something like that? Like he picks up that you're putting down something. He's not exactly sure what you're putting down.
Yeah. So one, just double check that he's not possessed. Two, then we can trust him and bring him in on the team.
Yeah. He's definitely not possessed.
Yep. Thought so.
Still,
just checking. Just gotta be
still-
paranoid.
Still seems to be kind of like he's not administrator anymore. He's still got a lot of the skills he developed as administrator, which means he's very on the ball. So he's going, okay, there's something here. Fish wants to talk to me about it. This is not the appropriate time or place, so we will have a private conversation about it in a bit.
And Fish's plan is to just kind of hang around Girth, because it seems like, people are approaching or coming by, and so it's just like a good spot to sit and stake out and people watch, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
Yes, people are definitely coming by to talk to them. The two of them are talking to each other in such a way that like repels people actually approaching too close. You think because Goph is too into the things that he's talking about, and Tone because he doesn't want to talk to people.
May is absolutely gonna turn to Goph and be like, speaking of, I have quite the interesting magic.
I assume you're going to say interesting magical item that I've acquired or something like that. Yeah.
I was. Can you see how close I am to this microphone?
I
I'm doing
am,
my best.
and I do
looking.
think you need to go into your settings and like change the sound gate on your microphone.
I thought you were gonna say closet. Like, she should just, like, capture herself in a small room.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check on Goph with advantage.
I was gonna say, I shouldn't even have to roll it, frankly.
With advantage, and don't forget your additional +2.
Yes. What is my persuasion at the moment? Because I changed it. That is a 17.
Okay. With a 17, I am going to give you an option here.
Uh-huh.
You are either going to go down from a +2 to a +1, or you are going to get enough to go up to a +3. What is going to happen is you have captured Goph's attention. He will immediately sequester himself with you in a side room to work on this to the exclusion of all else. For at least the next little bit, you will absolutely get your item sooner rather than later, but you are like taking yourself out of the event for at least a little bit. Or you're like, look at me, I've captured the attention of something all of you guys wanted to, and you haven't been able to. And you just sort of say, like, oh, here's this, take a look at it, we'll catch up later and get your thoughts or something like that, and you stay in the party.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the latter just because I think May would rather actually have like tools nearby. That she would rather make a visit to the lab at the council offices rather than do it right here, right now.
Gof absolutely has tools on his person that are just like it absolutely like he's wearing a tux that like clearly Jaw or somebody else
He takes off the bow tie, it
Yeah.
turns into a screwdriver sort of thing.
Yeah.
Opens up the jacket and it's just got a whole fucking
He's
array
not
of.
wearing it comfortably, but you can kind of see that like as the jacket spreads as he moves, there's kind of like underarm slings that are just tools going down his body.
Classic.
Yes. He.
Beth, I didn't realize you carried a gun. No, it's a drill.
Are you just happy to see me?
Yeah. Gof is absolutely. Gof invented the technology that I believe canonically Fish and Isle have in their pockets of like an extra dimensional
Yep.
pocket you can
Yes.
pull things out of. So
did.
he absolutely is like, I got the screwdriver and I'll get my pocket knife and nope, that's my drill. And these are my acids. Yes, he immediately takes it away from you. He listens to an entire description of where it came from, how you got it, and what it's supposed to do to the best of your knowledge as he's like fiddling with it. There is even a part where like just with his fingers he like splits it in half and it's in two equal pieces and you're like, I didn't know it did that. As he's fiddling with it, you've definitely caught his attention. You go up to the very bottom of +3.
Oh, yeah.
But people are definitely noticing that you have caught the attention of a well-regarded great thinker they wanted to talk to, but also really didn't want to talk to because.
And I seem to be having a good time doing it, which is even more intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gof is absolutely like starts to pull out some tools to check it over. Tone reaches out and places a hand on his very briefly and says, Arcanist, I believe this is neither the time or the place. Why don't we save this until you're back at the sanctuary? Alright, fine, twist my leg. Yeah, alright. As you are talking to these two, does Cal approach this kind of Congress in any way, or is she off doing her own thing?
I think Cal wanted to do her own thing, but then all of her friends went to the same place, and she was like, ah. And then I think she was like, I'll get to Tone and tell him bad news at some point. Oh, everybody's talking to Tone. It's way more awkward if I approach him later. Okay, and so she's just been like in the quiet Claire Dennis. Nobody is noticing she exists, just sitting off in the corner. And I imagine at Tone some point will be like, those quiet level surface thoughts I'm ignoring sound familiar.
Yeah.
I think what actually happens is as Tone is like, let's not do this right now. He is kind of like turned towards Gof, which is open to space into where Cal is hanging out like very much in the background, and he's like, Gof goes, oh yeah, I saw you came with a friend, not with that sinner guy anymore. That's crazy, but you know what? More power to you. You know, I always play the field. That's my number one goal. If you want, or both of them, that's good too. I know he's still here. He's over there.
Oh, you mean?
That guy.
Oh no, this is Claire. Come on in. Come on over. May is going to give Cal the option to be like, it's me, but she's not gonna, out Cal in this situation.
Yeah.
Hi, Claire.
Cal raises an eyebrow like you have way overestimated my friendship with Gove.
Oh, that's a nice name. I got a friend named Claire. Yeah, that's really great. She's actually just over there. Let me just give you your hand. Arcanist, I believe this is Cleric Denier, who you are familiar with. Oh,
That's Abbott.
shit! I did. Wow, you look real different.
Doesn't she look stunning tonight, Goph?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. And you know what? Two of you, you know what? I approve.
No. Though I'm sure Colliginous wishes. No, we are just very good friends. Well, there's no just about it, is there, Cal?
I'm also here.
Oh, yes, but I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, May, I do know. I might leave you. I think I'm gonna
Jealous.
excuse myself from this.
Cal like blushes very involuntarily. You just blinked out of existence for me, Ink.
Yeah, same.
For a split second, your internet entirely cut out, and you went, I'm just gonna duck out. Froze, and then disappeared.
Yeah, Fishy's blink. That was me doing blink, frankly.
Yeah, Cal blushes involuntarily at all of this commentary and is like,
I don't intend to attend this event as a abbot, so I am attending as someone else. Cleric Denier. Or Denis, sorry.
Oh yeah, Claire Denny's, you got it. You know, you got to make sure to spread that around. Make sure the other people who know you, you know, they know that you're going by Denny's.
No. Don't.
she looked at May like, May, and then looked at Tone like, why are you fucking doing this to me?
And she goes, no, I'm not. Don't mention it to anyone at all, please. If there's somebody who's looking to speak to Abbot Denier, you can let me know or let May know, but it's Metals Night, and I don't intend on making a fuss. I just plan on being someone with an ear to the ground.
Does Metal know you changed your name?
Yes.
All right, good. Okay.
And speaking of, where is the bride to be?
She was seen just a moment at the very beginning of the festivities. I arrived early, and since then has been sequestered in the bridal suite. I assume getting ready for the rehearsal.
No, I bet she's having I'm sure she's having the time of her life in there.
Yes, I'm sure it is excellent to look down the prospect of tying yourself to the Anchorage family.
May desperately wants to be like, okay, so what do we know about the Anchorage family? Tell me everything, but is not the time, not the place.
I mean, May can also do an insight check with disadvantage on Tone.
Sure. Well, I know it's not the second roll is not gonna be as good as that one, and it was not. That is a 13.
Okay. With a 13, because he's not trying to hide it, Tone fucking hates these people. Tone is very much like, I did not like them when it was my job to play nice to them, and that's not my job anymore, so I don't have a reason to. He thinks these people fucking sucks, and he thinks Metal's making a huge mistake.
Do you reckon he would join the party of Operation Break Metal out of the wedding whether she wants to or not?
With an insight of 13, I don't think you can be entirely sure, but I think just the way he's been speaking, based on this and previous interactions with him, he loves Metal. Metal is his favorite, his little protege. He may be here for other reasons. He is also here to support Metal. And he fucking hates these people, both individually and the society as a whole. And so, if you were like, "Hey, Metal wants to get out of here. Can you make a distraction?" He'd probably go, "Absolutely."
Good to know. Good to know. Gonna tuck that in the pocket for later.
As Tone is telling you about where Metal is, Goph is like, "Hey, Claire, I gotta introduce you to my friend, Claire." And you turn around and you see Claire and Jesse Coleman approaching with drinks. The mortals, who are, of course, your friends and friends with Metal, who helped Cal build out her temple, who is good people. As they approach with drinks, you can see that Claire is, in a way that is very dainty, considering how fast she is doing it, is just putting away shrimp. Of like, clearly I didn't get to I clearly Jessie didn't get to eat this while she was pregnant, so I didn't either. Now we're all
You're
good.
switching them.
No, Jessie carried the baby.
Oh,
Yeah. But now that I have the opportunity, I'm just fucking putting away shrimp because it's on somebody else's dime. But they are approaching, and while Jesse is obviously more reserved, they are both very excited to see you all. May more because you're Cal and Fish's friend than because you're super close with them, but like obviously they know you too. Well, hey there. I'm glad to see that you're here from Metal. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to her yet, but still a nice event, I guess. Yes, the food is really good, especially. Jesse was saying that the people here are perhaps not the nicest. So if we just want to load up on food and drinks, no harm.
May's
How are
like,
you?
these people get it.
Cal rolls her eyes at Goph, and after they're like, "Hey," she just like sighs to herself and goes, "Hello to both of you," and is just curious if they're gonna clock it on her voice alone.
Both of them absolutely do. You just get the sense that both of them were just kind of like, paying attention to your body language, the way you were standing, your voice, things like that. And just as Jesse is like, "Hey, Cal," and Clara is like, "Caligulous. I haven't seen your face before. It's very nice. I like the hair."
Blushes again and is like, "Yes, hello. You probably saw from the introductions, I was trying to do a thing, and I'm glad to see you. Happy to let you know that this is what's happening. But it's very deliberate, so I can just be a new friend, Claire Denis, Claire Denis."
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Should I pick a new name for this party? Something that's a little spicier. Maybe we can, have a secret conversations.
I will say, if there is any opportunity to pretend to not be yourself, it would be one of these events.
Excellent. Okay, I want to be some sort of super spy. I want to be Lola Embers.
I was like, that's a D20 character.
And she is just like threads her arm through your elbow and is immediately like chatting with you about how you've been, how Rousseau's doing, what fashion projects you've worked on. Claire, more than anyone else, is really able to like dig at Cal to get her out of her comfort zone almost immediately. And as they're kind of stepping off to the side to discuss all
I
of
will
these
say,
things.
Cal is keeping an eye on Tone. She does not want Tone to leave before she
Oh,
talks to him.
absolutely. You're just not like immediately in conversation with him in this moment as Jesse just comes up, politely says hi to people, and then I think Goph is like, "Oh, Jesse, I was telling you about the water reclamation system. Actually, May have some insight on that." You probably just get to Jesse talking about sort of engineering and plumbing and things like that. She's the mortal maintenance mechanic for the sanctuary. Um, to give you, Ellie, the context, essentially, doing mortal maintenance is both kind of beneath the average sorcerer, but also like they have no fucking idea what they're doing, and they try to use magic for everything, which ends up like destroying your pipes. So, a number of years ago, Jesse got hired in as the.
I remember. Don't worry.
Okay.
They ended up like stopping deleting her memory, right? Because it was just like, well, she's
Yeah,
too
because it's
valuable.
too
We
much
don't
of a
want to ruin her
hassle.
brain.
She's too valuable, and she loved that they didn't care that she was a butch lesbian who liked working with her hands after the war.
Mm.
Yeah, she's chatting with you, catching up. Claire is probably telling Cal all about the baby and how he's not fussy at all, and he's with a babysitter tonight so they can have fun. But they have been. He loves the Kekano that Cal sent. And he plays with him all the time. Just giving you like a very rapid fire catch up on how they've been doing, and also getting a lot more information out of Cal about how she's doing than Cal kind of ever expects to get to anyone else. Claire kind of gets under her walls in that way.
Yeah, Claire's just like, Fish is staring at you a lot.
Yeah. It must be because Fish doesn't. Is this the first time Fish has seen you without the veil? I understand. Also, this dress, it's doing a lot of good things. I know that you want it to be incognito, but obviously, you're an excellent seamstress. This is very well fitted and is shown off to effect by you. Yeah, she has no problem with gossiping.
Yeah, Cal was like, no, they've seen it plenty of times, many times. It's old hat. Thank you. I try. I worked on Metal's rehearsal dress a bit too. If you keep an eye out on it, it was not refined enough. I think I added a petticoat. I did some stuff with the fabric. The hem was a mess.
Okay, yeah. So not a collisionist any or a Claire Dene original, but a alteration.
Yes, and I would have loved to make her anything entirely from scratch, but it was not permitted. So I did what I could.
No, I'm honestly surprised you were able to get the alterations in. She was reached out to me about it last week, but I couldn't get back to her. I called back and just kept getting the aunt. So it must have been very short notice. So well done, whatever you did.
Maybe for the next. And this is very much a sign of like deep love for Claire that she goes, well, maybe I can design the next one.
Claire just immediately laughs. Is Kekano summoned for this event now?
Kekano isn't here at all.
Okay.
He's coming only for the wedding proper. So sorry. No.
Okay. That's fair. Claire asks after Kekino. They were buddies during the last event they were together. Just has a fun time, and I think Cal especially can kind of feel the relaxation settling in a little bit against her will. Tone seems to have taken a little bit of a break from the conversation, is just kind of watching a little bit fondly, you all catching up.
I like to think like Claire adjusts her and like takes off the shawl that Cal's been like hunching over and like drapes it like sexily and is like, "Oh, let me fix you," and like yanks the dress so it's at the proper place instead of like pulled up to her collarbone.
She's just like, she's like, "Oh, do you mind if I touch you?" And Kel's probably like, "Oh, yeah, no, but," and it's like, boop, 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 just that, get the hair to lay just right.
Titties up.
Yeah, titties up. Claire fixes you because Cal says yes, too fast, before she probably really thought about it. But yeah, it seems like Tone is not engaged in conversation with anybody. If you want to try to like pull him aside and break the news or anything like that.
Yeah. Once she sees that Tone is not occupied, and especially noticing that she didn't want Fish or May to say the news because she did not think they were going to be very. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Gentle.
Gentle, yeah. Tact, yeah. They were gonna show a lot of tact. But she kind of was like, it's very entirely, they'll just blurt it out. But she hasn't heard it, and Tone is open, so she's like, I kind of have a duty to be the one to tell him.
All right. So you get his attention and pull him aside to a little bit. Claire drifts over to attach herself on Jesse's arm and chats with May and Fish and Goph. Fish is probably, I would imagine, giving wild, impractical suggestions that Goph is
genuinely walked off.
Just genuinely wandered away?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Then Tone says, Jamal is absolutely like...
No, I was responding to Ink's joke.
Oh.
I was like, Ink was not laughing, and I was like, this is funny.
I did. No, I like it. I didn't see it. I wasn't.
Fish wanders off, Tone is just like, Miss Denier, what did you wish to speak to me of?
I also want to clarify, it's Denis, like the French Denis, like the director.
Yeah. Okay, Denis.
Yeah.
Hello, former administrator.
The awkwardness about, especially compared to Claire, of like someone she's literally never learned how to talk to civilly without it being a huge screaming match.
As Cal is saying that, I think Tone responds, Tone is fine. But after enough of a pause that it's still kind of awkward. It's like, former administrator, I was just thinking, Tone is fine. like long after
struggle. Yeah,
long after the struggle.
Abitinitis has passed. Recently. Says the exact amount, which was 3 days ago.
He kind of hisses a breath out, like that's a little bit of a punch to the gut. But you can kind of see him uh, straighten and say, in a way, I am both sorry and relieved to hear it. He was a good man once. How
Cal
are
closes.
you
Cal
taking it?
closes her eyes and nods and says, "I never. I saw glimpses of that, but I'm. It's hard when people are celebrating something and you know you should celebrate, but it's impossible to. Yeah, I wanted to eat. I wanted to speak
It
to
is
you
hard
about
for
it.
someone who has always been there to suddenly be gone. Someone you interacted with, feared, and relied on, suddenly taken away, even if they were a bad influence. I understand. Has your
It's
sister been able to give any support?
yes, well, we've been together for most of it. Um,
Ooh, real close, Ink. Real close. I don't think tears have fallen yet, but it's very close. Um,
she's like, yeah, she's been by my side most of the time. She had her own closure with it, and I think is doing well. She doesn't seem to need any support from me in turn, but I'm happy to give it to her.
I believe that siblings should always be able to support siblings, even if they seem like they don't need it. He kind of like reaches out a hand like to put on your shoulder, but very clearly like pauses far away where you can see it so that you can like give permission.
she's very awkward about it. She like looks at the hand, looks at him, and then blinks, but does not like stop it, which is like, yeah, man, I guess.
If she doesn't like nod or something, he's trying to be better about explicit permission he's trying to be better about consent. So
You're like the
he would
weird fucking like How I Met Your Mother thing where it's just like she like blinks, but he doesn't read the consent, and then she's like slight nod, just like, oh, I just want this interaction to continue on, and us not to be staring at each other awkwardly with your hover hand.
he rests his hand on your shoulder and then after a pause gives it a very awkward pat of uh, physical affection that you haven't really seen from him. And he says, I am perhaps not the best at emotional entreaties, but I am glad that you and your sister have each other during this time. And I, at least, understand what you are going through. If you need anything.
Thank you. And Cleric Tail, I believe, will be sorting out the Arlak Temple, and
Good.
I believe that any of his possessions will likely go to her, into her hands. I intend on taking probably, if I can, some of his library. I, would there be anything I should have passed to you?
There is a keepsake or two I may want passed along, should you find them. I will write up a description for you to give to Sister Tail?
Necro nude.
Pleasure device, giant dildo. No, throw it away. Yeah, but
I'm
you
so.
feel like in his weird way, Tone is like hurt by this news and also gladdened by it, and isn't really
Yeah.
sure which of the two warring emotions is going to win, but does like genuinely feel bad for you in a way that like everybody else, May and Fish included, have been like, "Yay, your abuser is dead," and he's the first person who's like, "It's really hard when your abuser dies." I understand.
Yeah. May's like, "Want to see the snuff film?" And Tone's like, "What?"
Tone has his kombucha girl moment. Like, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, genuinely, probably. Then yeah, he just tries to give you this this comfort and help you through it. You may bring to mind that he shared with you the story of where he comes from, where he also had a abusive father figure that he ended up killing. So he does understand, and perhaps Cal has enough self-reflection to be like, this is the first time Tone and I have gotten close to emotional intimacy, and one of us hasn't immediately ruined it by being a huge asshole to the other person.
Yeah, no, Cal's aware of that ticking time bomb, and when she's like, "I've told him the news. We talked a little bit. I told him that I will give him anything he wants of his possessions aside from the books. I gotta get out of here before this goes south."
He gives you a nod, and what through the beads may be a rueful smile, maybe, as you kind of like take your leave and get the fuck out of there before it gets even more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to cry a little bit and maybe have Fish run over, or are you trying to hold it together real well?
I think hold it together. She doesn't want to be the person crying at a rehearsal. That's bad.
She's already at a -1 for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, truly, if you're crying at a wedding rehearsal, some guy is gonna be like, "Milady."
If you think this is bad, wait until the wedding itself. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're asking for somebody to be like, "Ex of the groom."
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kel's trying to keep it together. I can say we can try and roll. We can roll at some point if she's not able to do that. But yeah.
Okay, at least for right now, seems to be really good. Okay, keeping it together. Yes. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about with Tone or the others, or should we jump to Fish having fucked off?
I'm good.
Yeah, I
Ink is
don't have
gone.
anything more I want to do with them. I have other stuff May wants to do, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I keep watching Teddy being like, is Ink coming back? Like when Teddy's like,
Yeah.
Teddy
No,
is
that's
playing
no.
Fish.
Hi, Teddy. I don't know if the speakers are on, but hello.
I'm gonna say they aren't.
Hi. Teddy sat in for you and made some wild choices for Fish, just so you know.
You're now
Even-
at rank -3.
Oh, even while muted, we're just entirely in body language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he
exactly.
communicated by holding up signs.
Hmm.
Ted, Kakano's not in this one. You can't be doing it. His breath smells like dog
Well,
breath.
he's a dog.
He's a dog. They always have smelly breath.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a judgment. It's just a description.
Yeah. I didn't know until I had cats that cats smell good. I'm just used to dogs who smell bad.
Hmm.
Okay, sorry. Pardon me.
Mooney actually came to me after huffing our cats and was like, "Am I going crazy? Is it because I love them too much? I think our cats smell good." And I'm
No,
like, "No,
this
famously,
cats smell good.
cats smell kind of good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famously.
Yes, we were asking any other like scenes or information we want to do with Tone or Goph or the others, or are we going to move on to Fish having fucked off and what's happening with them?
Oh yeah, they're not coming back
Okay.
ever.
Too emotionally intimate. Need to leave.
Fish went, actually, I'm going for Henry right now. Bye!
Yeah, I think Doran's trying to lure me into a trap. I have to get out of here right now.
As you hustle off, you by necessity of the crowds slip by Elise, who is now a little bit of the center of attention, having a conversation with a group of people. Weird robe guy that you vaguely remember is now seemingly talking to Sinner very seriously. You can tell by body language that Sinner is resisting the urge to like crush this guy, and the guy
I
thinks he's
guess
just having a fun conversation.
insight roll. Does he need rescuing? 11.
You do think that Thearch Phi does kind of need rescuing from Sinner. The question
No,
is, do you care?
Does Sinner need rescuing?
No.
Okay.
There are some people kind of looking askance at Sinner. As you get close, I think you hear a little bit of the conversation about being like, well, in the writings, it really shows that the Faceless Ones are infallible. So what Mevlin did in trying to force their return is, in a way, trying to subsume their divine will. They will come when they desire to. And Sinner is like, that's a very good point. I'm sure that's convincing to some people. As he just kind of like looms over this guy and like his knuckles tighten. And it's like, okay, well, this guy either needs to roll well on an insight check or he's might die. So,
Okay, well, no, he's good over there. Fish would like to, this does not have to be like a proper interaction, but like pay a lip service to the elder lady Anchorage and Warden, because it's like, well, you two are important. So it's like, oh, thank you for your patronage, my lady, and also good to see you. Hope you take losing your brother well. But not like that.
I mean, maybe like that.
No. What I mean is they don't deliver it like that. It absolutely is like that for them.
Yeah. No, this was not super expanded upon, but for Ellie, the twins are kind of like the twins from Legend of Korra, about being like, they don't. You wouldn't be surprised to learn they sleep in the same bed. They're that level of weird.
We're not talking like Ayante and Coronabeth levels, but ooey.
Yeah.
Gotta
They
keep that
probably
bloodline
have
pure.
not had sex. They've thought about it. But yes, as you're sort of circling, you're waiting for an opening to get to Lady Anchorage, and you sort of spin into the circle of influence of Woden, who greets you politely, but with a certain like superiority of being like, "Oh yes, you must be one of Metal's friends.
I am.
I was told she invited some people. That's quaint of her.
I know, it's really lovely that she can have some of the people that like she likes and loves at her own wedding.
I know, and
really
she
good
doesn't
for her. Yeah.
She doesn't even have like people to take care of the invitations for her. She had to make a
I
list
know.
herself. It's adorable.
It is very sweet how she likes to take on jobs, and poor Manfred, he's got nothing left for himself.
Oh yes, no, that's the right. That's the
The
butler.
butler.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
yes.
Of course. Um.
Oh, so
However,
I guess that goes to show how close I am to the help, knowing their actual names. Sorry, Warden.
well, it's they say that it's a virtue to be informed, I suppose. But yes, no, it's delightful to meet you. I didn't quite catch your introduction. You said your name was.
Oh, I'm
Cannon
this,
Fish is like,
this, no, you know what? They are just going to be like, oh, it's fish, but then like to put some sauce on it to be like, but I am worth talking to, emissary of Tuhono Atua. I assume you know exactly who that is.
Give me actually. What is Fish's passive insight? That's just insight score plus 10.
Insight score plus 10. 12.
Yeah, then you don't need to roll for it. She has no fucking idea who you're talking about, but obviously it's important, so she's gonna try really hard to pretend to know who you're talking about. And to answer Ellie, Woden is very young and attractive, but in that way of someone who's like very rich and therefore has been getting like exclusive skin routines from estheticians since he was like 5 years old, and you're like, I genuinely don't know how attractive you would be if you did not spend like $1,000 on skincare every single week.
Yep. Fish has zero interest in this woman.
Yeah. She just goes, oh yes, of course. No, that is quite fascinating. I didn't know that metal moved in such circles.
Oh,
Well, it is a pleasure to
she is
meet you.
rather unassuming, but that's how she gets in so easily. You understand?
Oh, I have
It's a
noticed
virtue.
that about her. Yes, no, I have noticed that. She seems a little mousy and forgettable in a way, but then she just gets you right there.
Never
Oh.
underestimate her.
Oh yes, no, that's why she's such a wonderful addition to the family. You look like you would you look a little thirsty. Do you mind if I just grab you champagne or
I'm not
something
thirsty, but
like
you are. I'm gonna leave now.
that? All right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I suppose I'll see you a bit later. Maybe
Oh,
save a
certainly,
dance for
Warden.
me.
Yeah. Well, I'd say yes. I'll save a dance only if you catch the bouquet.
Oh. You're very saucy, Fish. I like it. It's just like very, very, very practiced fake laugh. Yeah, she's kind of into you because she thinks you're a little important.
These
As
shallow people.
yeah, as yeah, you kind of like drift off. She's like, oh, maybe she thinks the tattoos are like a little like, oh, they're broken, but in a fun way, kind of thing.
I can fix them.
Yeah. People would be so appalled if I showed up to a party with them on my elbow. Wouldn't that be funny? Yes, as you get an opportunity to pay your respects to Lady Anchorage.
And like they legit, do it. It's with Warden, they're happy to fuck around with her a little bit, but with Anchorage Grandma, it's I'll drop a bow. Thank you so much for having me. I'd even like to do another performance role if you'll allow it.
Oh, please do.
Oh, okay. All right. $28.
Okay. With a 28, you approach into Lady Anchorage's circle. You feel your like someone has rammed a magical stick up your ass. You feel your like posture change, your chest puff out, and give an incredibly formal bow. You are like transformed into a different person as you approach, and Lady Anchorage gives you a curtsy that is not low enough to be like as polite as it should be, but she's an old lady, so maybe. And she says, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Fish. You're an associate of Lady Vance, I assume.
Oh, yes, a very close personal friend.
It is wonderful to see someone with such manners here at our events again.
Hmm.
Are you a member of the society?"
Not yet. I consider myself prospective.
Well, perspective is a good thing to gain, I've always found. I think that if you show the right initiative, the society would benefit greatly from your patronage and membership.
Oh, that is a great honor, Lady Anchorage. Thank you.
Anything else you want to talk to her about?
No, just once again, even though we know she's confirmed Grey Remnanted, but like just real double checking that, being like, yep, you nasty old lady. I just am here to maybe get a point up from having interacted with you positively, and then I'm going to go and get a champagne and sit down.
Give me a perception, insight, or arcana roll for that Gray Remnant check.
Sure. I'd like to go insight. Not good. It's okay. I'll live. 8.
One thing you've realized as you've been dealing with May is that the possession does like corrupt the body to a certain extent. Not the mystical 4 days of like a regular remnant that you've read about, but like it does have an effect. With an 8, you look at Lady Anchorage, and you don't see a lot of effect on her body, and you think with an 8 is not enough to tell you exactly which of these is true, but I will give you the 2 options. She
Okay.
has either not been possessed very long, or she is a bad enough person already that the remnant does not need to give a lot of influence, and therefore has been a light touch, so to speak.
Yeah. Honestly, both. Frankly, yeah. Fish, like, it's like, oh, yeah, so great to talk to you, and what a lovely venue that I haven't been to before, and it's just going to be fantastic and great to see you, and goodbye, and get out of there. It sickens them. It's the whole thing. They hate it.
Mhm.
It's disgusting, and they just want to sit down and get drunk.
Yeah, I think interacting with Lady Anchorage, you're like, oh, there are people that are worse than Lady Dentel. Like,
Yeah.
not maybe by a lot, but there are people of the same type that are worse. As you step away, you hear her speak very quietly to one of her attendants next to her. Find out about that young man for me, as well as any of his financial prospects. It looks like they're going to check up on you as a prospective member, somebody they will consider courting further.
Here's how much
and
money I have.
mhm,
$200.
200 gold.
No,
And
275 actually.
oh, and with that, you go up to the +2 rank at the higher end, close to +3.
Thanks, Shinobi, sweetheart. He wants to be involved.
Big
He
boy.
wants to go to the party.
Yeah. Yeah, as you step away, you are probably in a very pissy mood, looking for
Yeah.
a drink, snag a champagne flute from
A
a
hot
waiter
girl.
when you
Or guy.
come face to face with Nielotel and Lord Velumtel.
Do they have a champagne at this point?
You do.
All right. Go. Oh, Lady and Lord Tell, what a delightful encounter.
Niello kind of looks at the glass being shot back with like a little bit of judgment, but Lord Tell actually gives you a very respectful kind of like half bow and says, "It is a pleasure to meet you under better circumstances, Mr.
Oh,
Fish."
far better, and it will stay that way. If you don't mind, Vellum. I think we're close enough to, unless you don't think so, which is okay. Let's ask Niello.
Niello just kind of like looks at her husband and then looks back to you, seemingly like a little angry at you for existing, but also confused by like this byplay. And Vellum says, "Yes, it is important to judge oneself by the quality of your enemies. Please, Vellum."
Thank you. Very much appreciated. I will be entirely out of your way for this evening and the next. And it is just so very lovely to see and catch up with you two and see that you're in good health. In parentheses, not possessed.
Yes, neither of them are possessed, and
I know you already said this, but like it's
yeah.
This is
No, you're
fish
double checking.
brains.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Vellum says, "Yes, we have a picture of health. Thank you so much. I hope the same to you and a wonderful event to medal."
And that's
We-
who really matters in all of this. We're all here for
It
medal.
is who really matters, yes. And of course, I understand there has been a little conflict between herself and some society members before, but hopefully this marriage will be nothing but peace and happiness.
Yes, of course. And blessings upon us all, and so on. I do apologize. I don't get out much, but your beautiful wife will tell you. I'd say that not in a I'm coming onto her way, but in a complimentary way, like being cool and casual. Will tell you that I am more of an informal person, so I am making an effort.
I would say that at least so far you have been the picture of gentlemanly conduct. Nielo, would you care for anything to nibble on? Yes. I'll take whatever you can find. Fish, let me speak to you a moment.
Oh, of course, Lady Tell.
Vellum bows away. Doesn't go very far. Just kind of like gets to the nearest waiter, just giving you a little bit of privacy. Niela looks like she was coming here ready for a fight for you to immediately piss around and make her angry and fight her husband again. And instead, she's seemingly very confused by the fish that she's getting. And she says, "Are you feeling all right?"
Nah, but that's just weddings. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine, actually.
Ask you a personal question.
I suppose. I don't think it's
Uh,
ever stopped you saying no.
come on now. You and Vellum, you getting like, you planning on a family? Do you guys have kids? Are you gonna have kids?
Give me a persuasion check. Probably with disadvantage. But remember to add your bonus from your +2 from the party.
Okay, that was 11 persuasion, 15, 17.
Okay. With a 17, she kind of like puts her back up like she's waiting for the insult, and then it doesn't really come, and she very cautiously goes, "We are considering that, but we're not sure the timing's quite right yet. Maybe sometime soon. Why do you want to know?"
Oh, curiosity. Uh, you would have told me if I left you pregnant, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Why?
Well, it would have been it's a polite thing to do, and I'm just checking that you're a lady of caliber, and I knew that you would be. Thank you.
She's immediately like looking around to see who else is close enough to hear this conversation, and then in a more like quiet hiss, angry at you, is like, "Fish, other than that scare the one time, there has been nothing. Why are you bringing this up?"
I've kind of got better places to be right now, and I'm telling you this in confidence as an ex. I do have a son.
What?
Yeah.
Spirits, that poor woman. Wait, where? How? When?
I thinking timeline. I think this was like right before I met you. I didn't know. Okay, just to be super clear about
I
that.
actually think timeline-wise, this was just after. Like,
Oh, pardon me. Then I
yeah,
amend that.
I think Ozzy specifically was like the rebound after Niello.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Mistaken. Amendment. I like right after you.
Right after me? What's that supposed to mean? What are you saying?
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like, I was done with you and went on to someone else.
So we broke up and you immediately got someone pregnant.
Not
Are you trying to
immediate.
piss me off?
No, Nia. That's not. I wanted to have like a moment of confiding with you because we have this history together. But I say that it was the wrong move to make, and I do apologize. Like genuinely, I'm sorry. I don't like weddings. You know this.
I do. Your son, what's his name?
Henry Mulvader. And I'm really looking forward to meeting him.
I hope you get that fish.
Thank you. My lady.
Sir? And as you walk away from Niello, the confrontation, probably both of you were expecting, didn't totally happen. She seems sad for you. She's mostly like, God, how could you do this to this poor woman? You know, somebody had to deal with you and then also got your kid. Crazy. But you know, she feels sympathy.
Yeah. That's nice of her. Anyway, Fish is going to find a place to quietly sit.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
It's enough social interaction for the day. Perception 24. Wait, 23.
Over on the side of the room with the waiters coming in and out of the kitchen. Obviously, you don't want to have any of this seating right next to the help. So that area is a little more clear. There are benches around the outside of the room. You remember collapsing on them after your fight before. You can find a bench that's over in a corner, more out of the way, where there's sort of no one else around you other than the waiters kind of coming in and out of the kitchen, and even them not particularly close.
Sounds great. Let's go.
All right.
I'm gonna add to that really
Yep.
high perception check. Cal was eavesdropping on that entire conversation.
Fish-
You froze for me and has like
Froze with
soy
surprise.
faced.
Yeah. He froze like this.
I took a
Like a
screenshot.
YouTube thumbnail.
No!
That's gonna be our new thumbnail for our session recordings.
It's a good face, though, actually.
Yeah, it's funny. Then, yes, you notice that Cal has sort of shadowed you, maybe trying to get your attention for something after your conversation.
No, she was eavesdropping on that particular conversation. Fish
Well, I
exited,
think-
and she was like, "Good."
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to say that Fish, like, turns around, sees Cal standing there, makes eye contact, like, you probably heard that entire thing. Goodbye! Going to walk into my bench.
Okay, you go over to your bench, and that was a very high perception check, so I will give you one more thing.
Yeah.
One of the, not one of the actual waiters who's circulating, but one of the staff who's like working the table, reloading the trays, looks kind of familiar to you, and as you go past, looks at you just a little too long for someone who like doesn't know you. Just a little bit longer than that glance of a staff member being like, is there something I can help this guy with? No, he's just coming over to sit in the corner. Okay, ignore him. Just lingers a little bit longer.
Concerning.
Mm-hmm. And with that, what are May and Cal doing?
I think May is doing that thing where, like, she's gotten in her conversation with Tone and Goth and is now, like, stepping back from it a little bit in, like, I don't really have anything else to say, and I'm keeping an eye out for anyone else I might want to chat to. Not in a rude way, just, you know, you're at a party.
Yeah. Are you trying to do that thing where, like, you're not actively mingling, but you are kind of setting yourself aside to be like, I'm available for approach?
Yeah, exactly. And she's also kind of, you know, keeping an eye in the room. I think she's probably would have seen Fish go and speak to the Lady Anchorage and is like, I need to do that at some point because that's the polite thing to do. I also think she's doing the thing you do when your ex is at a party and you're really trying hard not to look at them, but you know exactly where they are at every single point.
Every moment they're in the room.
Every
yes.
moment. So I think she might do a perception check to see what Cinder is doing.
Okay, give me that perception check.
That's a 28.
Okay.
Because I guess, yeah.
With a 28, you can see the sweat on the faceless one's priest's face, as it seems like Sinner has now walked away from that conversation. But that guy seemingly realized that how close he was
Dabbing.
to death. Yeah, very, very much dabbing at his sleeves. Sinner has chatted with a few people in the room. You haven't been really paying attention to the people, but you've been paying attention to where he is, and he's been stopping and chatting a little bit. It seems like he knows some people here, maybe old bosses from previous jobs.
Yikes.
People he protected or did work for or something like that. Doesn't speak well of the crowd here, but he, with a 28, you sort of see him drifting off to the side and checking in with some of the security people that are spaced around. Most of them are kind of up on the balcony keeping an eye, but there are a couple that are just kind of on the sides, dressed nice, but in clearly a suit that's borrowed or rented because it doesn't quite fit right. Some are kind of like burlier men and women. Others are like, slender but carrying themselves in kind of a dangerous way, and in a way that May doesn't have the context for this, but would absolutely not have happened like last party or in the times when the party has gone before. Some of them are like actually wearing like a sword or something that's not entirely concealed, and Sinner is going around chatting with them, and you see that something that one of them says kind of gets his attention, and he looks over towards the like bridal party side of the room and starts hustling over there with purpose. Not like getting anybody else, not like really calling attention to himself. Occasionally like stopping and speaking quietly to someone. Giving his politeness, but it's clearly like making his way towards Metal's room.
Does he look worried?
He looks, with a 28, he looks like he's working, kind of, like he's concentrating. A 28 is high enough, I think Sinner so well that you're like, this is the face of being like, there is a security issue that needs to be addressed, but it is not so worrying that like it's an emergency or something's happening and I need to clear people. It seems like with a 28, maybe because he knew a lot of the people here, someone mentioned something that he could give input on, and now he's going over to solve it because he still needs to cool down from almost killing a guy.
Okay. May's just gonna keep an eye out for anything, I guess, bad that could happen. While she's generally like looking at Sinner, does she see anyone she knows or like has spoken to before or knows of that she might want to see or chat to, rather?
With a 28, have you ever seen a clip from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
You'll have to be more specific.
Where two characters see each other across the restaurant.
Of course.
Characters,
I
you mean
Please.
Charlie and Mac?
Yeah. Come on now. You
Yes,
mean
when Charlie and
best
Mac see each
friends?
other across the restaurant. That happens to you as you are kind of following Sinner with your eyes, noticing who he speaks to, and sort of as the crowds sort of separate and thin a little bit, you see somebody who was just speaking to what you recognize as someone very well-to-do, someone important, like not on Lady Anchorage's level, but sort of in her orbit that other people were coming and talking to, somebody rich and powerful. And she sees you in the exact same moment as you see Klur.
May immediately excuses herself. No, sorry, I've just seen someone I need to talk to. I'm sure I'll circle back at some point. Tone, lovely seeing you. Goth, I'll be in touch about that badge. Can't wait to have a little chat. And then is going to immediately hustle over to Kalua.
Kalor hustles up to you really quick. She quickly exits her own conversation and like hustles over to you, and she goes, May, what are you doing here?
Oh, darling, it's so good to see you. I'm so sorry about China. And gives her a big hug.
Yeah, she looks like she wanted a hug, but didn't want to like impose by doing it first. She gives you a big hug back. She seems startled to find you here, because this is very weird to run into each other. But she's like, oh, don't worry about. I'm not gonna do that accent. She has a British accent. My voice is not up to doing that. She says, "Oh, it's okay. I understand that an emergency came up, and obviously, it sucked, but there was, I ended up having some fun anyway. I got a little bit of food there, and it was nice. Sad you couldn't join. But yes, and then it seemed like kind of everything in China, went bad a little bit. So I had to go back home. But I heard that some of the auction things had been resolved. I guess, although the auction itself kind of got canceled, which was interesting. But yeah, I came back and it's all good. You don't need to apologize, and everything's okay. Mr. George is around here somewhere. If you want to say hi, you have never wanted to speak to that guy for any reason, but out of nervousness, she's kind of like, oh, he's somewhere around here. You probably look over and see, this older, very proper-looking British man try to and fail to engage someone in conversation as he like says something to someone who's already talking to somebody else, and just like that person just kind of like fully turns their body slightly more away and don't answer him.
Yeah, we've all been there. May leans in and says, "Cooler, darling. I'm here to chat to you, not to Mr. George."
Oh, okay. I'm so surprised to see you here. What are you doing here?
Oh well, I'm Metal and I go not way back, but back enough. I'd say I'm a good friend of hers. What are you doing here?
The bride, is that the same Metal who was working with you in the sanctuary?
The one and the same, darling. Yes.
My goodness! Oh, worlds collide. Yeah, I'm sort of at work a little bit. Our department works with some members of the society, purchasing some items in their private collection, and help arrange for them to be displayed in some wider exhibits with our own work. So I was told that there was a big event for them, and then it was polite for me to show up, and nobody else was available to. May really easily reads between the lines. Nobody else wanted to do it, so she got saddled with it. Yes, I'm just enjoying the party. Trying to not to make a fool of myself. But chatting with people a little bit, and trying to work information about their collections sort of into the conversation. Not sure how well that's going, but it's great to see you here. It's the last thing I expected. Oh, and I've been doing what you told me. I've been going to more of the Maharu meetings, and I have officially gained the next rank, which is very exciting. And I've been talking about you, like you said, and a lot of people are very excited to sort of get you on board, or at least get some talks from you. I did what you asked. I've sort of laid that groundwork, and a lot of people excited to meet you.
Kalua, I knew I could rely on you. Well, just name the place and the date. I'll be there. My schedule is quite freed up. I'd say week after this, most likely.
Okay. Oh, you know what? About if you the on that Friday evening, about a week and a half, 2 weeks away, there's part of this. My local chapter is doing like these speaking presentation arrangements thing to deepen the faith and the understanding of the Egyptian inner mysteries, and there was supposed to be a presentation on the Book of the Dead, and unfortunately, it looks like the person had to drop out. The leader of my chapter was looking for new people to speak and give a presentation on that subject. Do you think that you could find some time or something like that to that could be a good opportunity?
Absolutely. I would love nothing more.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Then okay, I'll let them know, and I haven't been I haven't been um uh I haven't been
Stammer.
I was trying to both speak and read what Ink wrote at the same time, and my brain does not work that well. Um, um,
Never read anything I write.
it is often a mistake. Very often I am distracted by jokes you guys are making in the chat, or this, which is a joke and also interesting character work and also deeply sad. But she says, I've been pretty busy with work recently, so I haven't had a lot of time to visit the library of Miss China Sorrows. But I do still have some of the books that I borrowed, and I got copies of certain chapters. And I've been really working on my magic, like you recommended, and really testing things out. I've actually I've kind of got a little bit of a headache, and I don't know if it's just kind of the stress or maybe it's the champagne. But I feel like I'm really kind of like stretching my senses to kind of develop them, and I feel like illusion magic here. And I used to not be able to really sense that in other people, and I think my skills are really growing, and that advice you gave me was really helpful.
I'm so glad to hear that. Genuinely, it's such a pleasure to see someone blossom.
Thanks.
Patrick, important question. Where is Sinner at the moment? And is he potentially looking in this direction? Or is he open with the bridal stuff?
Sinner has gone almost all the way to the bridal suite. You can see someone has stopped him and is talking to him outside of there, and he sort of turns around to be like, oh, you can ask that person or something like that. And so it's is at that room, which is quite a ways away from you, but is turning back towards you because he's turning back to the room at large. Not looking at you specifically necessarily, but gaze would probably pass over you.
May's gonna be a real cunt. She's gonna catch his gaze and then deliberately turn back to Kalua and tuck a piece of hair behind Kalua's ear and say, "By the way, you look absolutely ravishing tonight, darling."
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get advantage because I look so good in this dress?
No, because I think that cancels out something else.
Okay.
We're just gonna go. we're just gonna go with a flat roll.
Okay, that's a 14.
Okay. Um,
Who am I
You-
persuading out of interest?
you tuck Kallur's hair behind her ears. You watch her reboot, and then she is blushing really hard as she says, "Oh, yeah, thank you. I think you look really amazing tonight too. I mean, I don't know that much about fashion. Obviously, there's a lot of people dressed nice here, but yeah, you look really great, and thank you so much. Yeah."
I just think May is just going to generally shoot the shit for a little bit with her, and is now also, okay, who else is around who I should say hi to? But she's not going to like just high and dry unless she's like talking with someone else.
You probably turn back to look at Sinner and find Sinner gone and kind of the door to the bridal suite closing. And you chat with Kallur. She tells you about the books she's been reading, most of which are like interesting to you in an academic sense of like when somebody kind of recommends you books that are completely outside your field or area of interest. So it's just like, oh, I'm glad that's good. I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but that's nice. It's nice to hear you talk about something you're passionate about. She talks to you a little bit about learning the difference between like internal and external illusion magic, and how internal magic comes from the own person spellcasting, while external is what May is more familiar with, of being like, illusory objects like Elisa's ring that can kind of make you look better. If you like continue on that track or kind of nudge her in that direction to like, not talk about yourself as much, but just sort of distract her with her own things, she points out that I think this person is wearing earrings that make her look better. I think this person it's the watch. You're like pointing out that kind of like most people in this room have magic that is making them look at least a
They got
little
their TikTok
better.
filters on, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
think
got
we
their
would point her
TikTok
in that
filters on.
direction. Because, like, May
as far as you
can't
can
really,
tell.
like... May doesn't really want to talk about everything that's happened to her recently, because kind of, secret. So, yeah, she would just be the very encouraging listener.
She's still very unsure in this kind of ability she is developing. She mentions something to you. I want you to give me like an intelligence check of being like prompting the right topics of conversation to like get her to give information you find interesting or helpful.
Yep, dirty 20.
Okay. With a dirty 20, absolutely. She's like, internal versus external illusion magic. Of course, that doesn't count facades. Those are different. You're like, oh, tell me about why those are different. Things like that. And she's like, oh, well, because they're symbol magic and they have to be anchored into the person, they're technically internal illusion magic, but they don't read that way. It's really hard to tell when somebody is under a facade. That's why they're so valued. It's almost impossible for someone like me, who's too new at this, to be able to tell. And China Sorrows has all these books on facades. I've just started like chapter one of them, but it seems so interesting. It was way too dense, so I've got to come back to it later because it's too high level for me. But it just like getting into kind of that. Kind of nitty gritty, and then she says, for example, there is a book written by China Sorrows that is just facade genitalia, and it is triple locked in the forbidden section, and only personal friends of China Sorrows are allowed to read it. I'm very interested. She says these people are interesting because I can sense like a little bit of illusion magic from them, but it feels like very off, and so I don't know if that's like they might have, one of them might have like a facade or maybe like internal illusory magic or something like that, just to like look a little bit better. But like it feels, I don't know, it has kind of flavored a little differently. That doesn't really make sense. It kind of
So is this a particular group of people she's pointing at, or are these people spread out across the room?
Yes, it's a particular group she's pointing out.
Can I roll a perception?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh! So that's a dirty 30.
Dirty 30. Okay, what is that, a natural 19?
You know what I mean? That's like a hell of a roll. It's because my perception is so high. Got the I'm a cool hip person bonus.
Yeah. You look over and see that
I know where these people are born. I know their names. I know their social security numbers.
You're across the room and you know what cologne they use.
Hey, guess what? They're all possessed. You just know this.
Those guys are possessed. Not me, but them definitely.
But them definitely.
You look across to what Kalor points out. You've sort of noticed these people passively as you were coming in, but you didn't really think they warranted much attention necessarily. You now see that the groom has actually come out of the side rooms where he was supposed to be getting ready. Not really the done thing, although it is less of a big deal at a rehearsal.
So, and were these rooms at all close to the bridal rooms? Or are they like opposite?
They're across the hall.
Okay.
So essentially, like if you're looking out at like halfway down the room towards the actual wedding section, and to the left is the groomsman, to the right is the bridal. So the distance from like the bridal door to the groom's door is less than from like you to the groom's door or something, but it's not like right next to each other. Yeah, not really the done thing, but the groom is out there and seems to be accompanied by Lady Dentel, and the two of them are talking to what is clearly a group of people who have come together because they are kind of like moving as a unit in a way. They are a number of men and women in incredibly well-cut suits, and you're seeing from like across the room, Dirty 30. You're like, these are bespoke Savile Row suits. Like these are like. Everybody in here is dressed nice, but mostly they are dressed expensive. These are people who have these are people who have both the money and taste to be dressed really expensive and also look really good. The leader who is speaking to the groom and the lady is sort of in a white suit with a red shirt underneath, like a Snow White almost. Not the done thing, although it is less important for men, but still not great. And Lady Dentel, who, at least by reputation, you know to be an absolute bitch, doesn't seem to mind at all. Seems actually happy to be talking to this guy. I don't think Cal and Fish have ever described a time Lady Dentel was happy. It wasn't sure that was something that was possible for her. But yeah, she seems very happy and like charmed to be talking to this guy. He's like a big like
Think so.
lion-built man. Just a large, kind of older guy, like maybe 6'1", 6'2", with like a big mane of like long white hair and kind of a short white beard. Just little touches of wealth and taste all over him. Expensive watches, very expensive and tasteful cufflinks. And
Are
everybody,
the cufflinks any symbol May recognizes?
they are not. They are.
Okay.
They are. Well, at least I will say, limits of a dirty 30. May does not have telescopic vision.
Very fair, very fair. I forgot about that.
You can just see that
And cups.
they are like diamond cufflinks, and if there is something like engraved like on or underneath the diamond, which there might be, you you can like kind of see that something might be there, but you can't tell what it is from so far away. Everybody else in the group is equally like well coiffed and well dressed. Their body language is like entirely focused on this leader, this individual, who's laughing uproariously at something that Lady Dentel said. You didn't know Lady Dentel could be funny. He's a very like powerful presence to not be the center of attention in this room. It's just very interesting the way that nobody like particularly close to him is like coming into his orbit, even though you feel like they should, because you can kind of feel like the physical charisma from him from this far away. And with a 30, I'll let you continue to ask questions about him and this group and answer them up to a certain point, because 30 is insane.
Yeah. I think it's actually the highest I've ever rolled.
30 is the point. Kalor has information about this guy. Chatted to him for a brief moment, and you can just get information from her, even though that was not true as of 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, May will get all the information Kalor has on this guy. I feel like it's giving cult.
Right.
Is it fair to say this is giving cult, this whole little group?
You, with a 30, I think cult is a term that relies on people with power and people without power. There needs to be suckers. If this is a cult, this is all like the senior leadership of a cult or something like that. There is no cult that gives its followers bespoke suits.
Okay. It's a sort of organization then.
You do think this is an organization of some time. It could be a very cult-ish organization, but you do think that this is a organization. Even with the 30, I think you might even see like the ever so slightest family resemblance between some of these people and this man. Of like maybe some of them are part of an extended family, you know, second cousins or something like that. What Kalor gives you is that her name is Mr. May of a group, a bank and financial institution called Mammon and Sons Financial Services. That at least from what she can guess by what she overheard is like the financial institution for a lot of the society people. And that's not a like historical thing. That's like recently this guy has come in the last like year or so and been like, on the strength of his financial advice and the returns he's given, has started gathering up more and more of the society into customers of his.
Are they sorcerers? I assume so, but
Kalor does not know. But
maybe we finally get to see that accounting magic in action.
Yeah, no, potentially. Yeah, Kalor does not know that they're sorcerers, but would assume so, just because everyone here is sorcerers. Kalor is kind of making an assumption with that. Like, Mr. George is not a sorcerer. But she's like, I just assume he was the one guy who came, and everybody else here is sorcerers. And it's like, you don't really have a basis for that assumption, but it is a good guess, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's they're the ones that she points out as being like, yeah, like I was talking to them earlier, and it's interesting that I feel like illusory magic from them, but it's hard to tell it's coming like from them. You just kind of like feel it more strongly in their presence. So I don't know if it's internal or if they've got like facades or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really have a reason to talk to them. I was just I felt that when I was nearby, and then I started a conversation with them to try and train that sense. Like you were talking about, always look for opportunities to be improving.
It's rather interesting that nobody seems to have noticed them.
Oh, a lot of people have spoken to them and kind of paid their respects already. I kind of noticed that whenever, especially the gentleman in front, the Mr. May, I think he said his name was, whenever he kind of wanted privacy for like a private financial consultation or something like that, people kind of gave him room. They really like spread out. I don't know if it's it's sort of like a cultural thing here of like respecting other people's privacy. Maybe May has been enough of these events to be like, people may pretend to not listen, but like your best friends are also your greatest rivals, so you are like genuinely trying to spy on their business dealings during these kind of events. So being like, oh, this guy's powerful enough to just be like, fuck off, and everybody like listens is interesting. But yeah, he's not like ignored so much as like given space.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe he's the type of guy that he talks to you. You don't like show up at his periphery to like beg attention from him.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to ask while I have this role that I will probably never have again. With what Kalor said about the illusory magic, can May reasonably extrapolate that perhaps it's the sort of magic that deflects attention rather than like tricks it, if that makes sense?
I think you look at, rather than being an Arcana check and focusing on like what kind of magic can I see and feel, what items could like hold a magic charge, you do sort of look at the like pattern of people paying attention to him, and do think that maybe he is utilizing some kind of like deflection from attention. I don't want magic.
Yeah.
And you have kind of pierced that because somebody else pointed him out to you. But you think maybe that is not like, it's not such a powerful effect that everybody is like, ignore him. But it's like influencing people to not pay attention, and that plus his like power and reputation is what's doing it.
Okay. Does the interaction he is having with Dentel, does he look happy?
With a 30 perception, he looks like the kind of person where he is so happy and joyful in this moment talking to her, and you don't think he is the type of person where you could ever tell whether that was genuine or not. He is someone with just kind of that overwhelming amount of personal charisma that like the artifice is so complete that it no longer feels like deception of any kind.
Okay. I can't think of any other questions that I desperately want there to be that I have to ask. I think that May is going to guide Kalor to be part of another conversation so that she's not outright ditching her, and go and make her respects to the lady fucking whatever, Anchorage.
Okay.
And
then
she'll
with the
circle
last
back around to Kalor later.
The last thing of your 30, in order to honor it, as he laughs and smiles big, turning a little bit, putting a respectful hand on Lady Dentel's elbow. You see, it's such a quick flash. It's hard to think whether it is your imagination or it really happened, or because the idea is still in the back of your mind that you might genuinely be possessed. Maybe something Jonas is forcing you to see. Maybe he's playing tricks with you, who knows. You think you see a flash of like longer teeth than they should be, and eyes glowing red for just a split second with him, before he is seemingly perfectly normal and very graciously shaking Grave Anchorage's hand and patting him on the shoulder and giving a comment to Lady Dentel before he steps away and goes on his own affairs, maybe congratulating them on the wedding or something like that.
Teeth. Ink, is there any magic that immediately comes to mind there? Like from the Skullduggery universe, besides vampires with teeth? Or like
not vampires.
The witches, maybe?
Yeah, warlocks and witches and
Thank
stuff.
you, that's the word.
Yeah, the warlock.
Warlocks have their teeth extend.
Sucking a little bit of soul, Hunts and Abadir style. Okay. Yeah, May's gonna go pay respects to Anchorage then. But she's kind of like keeping an eye on now.
Do you think May thinks about that as like, oh, it's a warlock or something like that?
Shall I roll Arcana?
Either Arcana or Nature, depending on what you want to focus on.
I don't know which of mine is better at the moment. They're actually the same, so let's go. I think Arcana May would approach it from a magical perspective.
Okay.
That is... I'm going to use Flash of Genius to boost that to a 17. Because I think this guy is someone we got to look out for.
With a 17, you think that this could be a sorcerer or indicative of a certain type of magic. It is possible, as you've been like looking out over the crowd and Kalor has been explaining these techniques to you, you have noticed that there is a little bit like somebody moves too fast and their cheeks will like ever so slightly blur of being like they're moving a little bit faster than their illusion
the filter
magic
can't catch up.
Exactly. The filter can't track their face that fast. You have seen that happen, and how that doesn't happen with people that are doing what Kalor describes as internal illusion magic, aka, they're the source of it or something. You think either this is an indication of a type of magic that kind of changes someone physically, or for just a moment you kind of pierce the veil of the illusion magic, and this man is non-human in some way. And with a 17, it's not a non-human that you immediately recognize. I mean, you think vampire. Okay, vampires kind of have like fucked up teeth, but they don't have like big fangs. The Chinese vampires have no big fangs. Everything else I know with big fangs aren't like humanoid necessarily, or at least can pass as human. Yeah, you're kind of drawing a blank at like what he could be, but you're like, oh, something is different about this guy. This is not like average podunk rich sorcerer. There is something here.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if he's connected to the security issue that Cinna was called away for. Gee whiz! Anyway, yeah, so like I said, nicely fobs Kulor off on someone, tells her she'll be back to chat later, and then is gonna go to Ms. Anchorage.
Okay. As you leave Kalor talking about some interesting magic items that are old, but not historically old. They're 1800s, and how magic has changed a little bit. Something that is more your wheelhouse than Kalor. So you kind of like introduce the topic, and then
Yeah.
as they start chatting about that, step away. You come to pay your respects to Lady Anchorage. You gotta wait just a minute, and finally you have your opportunity to step forward and speak to her.
May goes full British manners.
Yes, give me a performance check.
All right. Could be worse. That actually it could definitely be worse because I forgot that I've upped my performance. That is a 21 from a 12.
Okay.
Whew. Sorry, 13.
With a 21, Lady Anchorage actually remembers your introduction and seems to be familiar with you.
Does she like muscular women in revealing dresses? Is that what's going on here?
She is, at a glance, you're looking over her, you're like, okay, definitely like over 300, so maybe would not work out. But it seems like she at least knows of you from like archaeological circles, of being like, she has associates that have sponsored digs of yours in Egypt and things like that. Like very much of like, your name has been said in my presence before, but not like I know who you are. And is polite to you, respectful, allows you to sort of pay your respects and give congratulations, and asks you a little bit about England and how established in their society you are. Mentions some people that you have gotten sponsorships from in the past, people that unfortunately at this point are now like deep within the Maharu crutches and cannot sponsor digs anymore because they're too into that. But checking up on old acquaintances together for a moment. Is there anything specific you want to convey to her or try to get from her?
I'm trying to think if she can somehow imply that she's interested in Mr. May, from like in what he is, what he's doing. But I don't think May would dare do much more than very like lightly imply it in a very roundabout way.
Then give me a deception check with disadvantage, of being just trying to like work that into conversation like subtly enough to be noticed but not be obvious.
Yeah. My deception is no longer something I have proficiency in, so let's see how that goes.
Remember to be adding your reputation score.
I am. That actually isn't too bad. 16.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. No, that's not right. Oh, no, it is. Sorry. Yep.
Okay. With a 16, you don't know that she like noticed or caught the reference, but you're like, that's all I can do. And as you are preparing to step away, you see that Lady Dentel is coming up to speak with Lady Anchorage.
Can May hover on the edge of a conversation and have a... She won't like be literally like standing right next to them, but like if she a decent enough distance away that she could feasibly overhear without being obvious.
Give me... God, this is like charisma stealth. Give me a stealth check, but with your charisma bonus instead of your dexterity bonus.
Okay. That is a 5.
Okay.
That's the payback for the 30.
Yeah. The answer is no. You you try to engage in conversation with someone like just outside the edge of this conversation to sort of overhear, and you find that you can't split your attention well enough. So you introduce yourself to a gentleman, and then they start talking, and you kind of like turn a little bit to listen to it, and then you turn back, and the gentleman is gone, and you're just kind of alone, standing like a weirdo in the middle of this group of people, and some people are kind of looking at you,
He's gonna get out of there.
not. Is it just kind of like oh, I wish she would move so I can take her spot so I can go speak to Lady Anchorage. Just kind of like May's in the way.
Yeah, May will get out of there, I think. She's not foolish enough to push.
Yeah, you don't think maybe Lady Anchorage noticed? Other people did.
Yep. Getting out of there. Getting out of there. Fall back.
Yeah. You slip out of there. As the two of them speak, we are going to go back in time just a little bit to see what Cal has been doing. What has Caligulus been doing to kind of like mingle a little bit, or has she not at all?
Sorry, 1 sec.
Also, Jamal was just consumed by the crowd. He's gone.
I do think Jamal is like with Cal now at this point.
Yeah.
Like I do think Jamal was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And Jesse's like, "Oh, Jamal," and they had like a small chat after Cal left because Jamal got distracted by something. He got an hors d'oeuvre. He turned back to Cal, found himself lost in the crowd, looked for the bathroom, ended up in the Illuminati's room where they're planning on how to manipulate the markets.
Yeah, so Cal has mostly, I think, been just like taking advantage of her complete lack of notoriety to just like, do some eavesdropping, do some stuff. She'll accept Jamal as an accomplice only to have someone to pretend to talk to. But yeah, no, I don't think she's too worried about May, but she absolutely narrowed in when Fish talks to Yellow, because she knew that one, her husband, because she knew that was a bad idea. And then that ended up going well. I think she'd also be.
Yeah, do you think Cal was pleasantly surprised that went well?
Yes. Yeah, no, she was like, wow. You know what that is? Gross.
I was like gathering the shadow spear to like strike this guy down before it turned into a formal duel again, so that Fish wouldn't almost die again.
She wasn't going to do that. She was prepared to be like, "Do you remember how my abbot saved your life? Chill."
No, I don't.
No, the husband.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
Just that Fish would be like, I don't think that happened.
Fake news. But yeah, she'd just be keeping an eye out for Fish, and then probably be pleasantly surprised how that goes. Keeping an eye out for Lise, because like Jesus Christ, and then also just kind of being like constantly waiting for Metal to emerge, because that's the only person she like actually wants to speak to at this fucking event, and having not done that, I think it's just like keeping an eye out for the husband or the groom, anything weird going on with the family and stuff like that. If people want to chat with her, she's not going to not, but she's just kind of banking in the fact that nobody wants to chat with her because she's just a, fairly, seeing as especially because May was not announced with High Cleric or anything, like a fairly unimportant +1 to a not very important guest, and is just enjoying complete knack of notoriety, and expecting, especially when Jamal is on his own, he can do any talking up for the church for her. She's just sort of like, again, she just didn't want to cause any fuss. I think she's very glad that Pagan's not there because she knew that the fucking conversation was going to be about the saint rumors if she was. So, but yeah, no, just snooping.
Then give me a perception check, and remember to do your -1 for reputation.
Yep.
You know what? I think Jamal can give you the help action if he is your accomplice towards, like, you know, having conversations together close enough to other people to listen.
I will say I don't need it, but I'll take it just for fun. Yeah, I didn't need it. That was... You said it was perception?
Yes.
That's gonna be a... Sorry, I'm struggling with math right now. Yeah, 21.
Okay. With a 21, you sort of mingle with Jamal. You do meet some people. Some people introduce themselves to you, seemingly just polite and
yeah, and Cal does go like, "Hi," is like, you know, I'm Cleric Denis. I'm from the Temple of Earth Collapse.
Yes, and the two of you are able to kind of talk up the temple a little bit. Mostly something that the people who are, like, talking to you are not necessarily saying, except in passing, but more people you're overhearing who are kind of, like, too important and too rude to come talk to you, are all wondering where Abbot Caligulus Denier are. You can hear essentially conversations about how a lot of these people, you know, kind of donate to your temple and help keep it running, and they were, like, looking for an excuse to have a meeting with you and, like, influence a bunch of your policies and, like, use that power to kind of, like, further their own goals, you know, maybe get you to endorse some products, things like that.
Cal heard the whispers and she was like, shit, maybe I gotta go Hannah Montana. And then she was like, never mind. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of a double-edged sword in that, in not being Caligulus Denier, you have, like, removed some of your ability to, like, have more contacts and more funding from these people. On the other hand, if you were Caligulus Denier, any, like, negative thing you did, including telling no to people, would, like, reduce the standing of not just yourself in this interaction, but your temple and where your money comes from. So that is sort of the double-edged sword there. But yeah, you're able to.
Intention was, people know that she's friends with Metal, so she'll look mysterious and sexy, but also, well, if she's not here, she's clearly with the bride, which was her goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just get a lot of, like, polite people, the kind who don't really want anything from your temple, talking to you, and some of them are chatting about, like, oh, you know, I saw your abbot come down, you know, she seemed interesting. Is she a good abbot? You know, how is it at the temple? I've never really understood how necromancers live. Like, that kind of polite conversation, rather than, like, angling for, like, oh, introduce me to your abbot, we've got business to discuss. Which like
Cal does not mind, especially if she can, like, keep her eyes on Elise during that. She's like, yeah, this is the small talk I can handle. Oh my god, why is she doing that? Yeah!
And then with your perception for keeping an eye on Elise, Elise is very in her element. She is instantly kind of the belle of the ball and is charming a lot of people. She has actually moved up almost to +3 in reputation, because I've been rolling some checks for her. And yes, she is in her element. You have seen her cause problems in probably 3 relationships so far, of just being like overly flirty with a husband in front of a wife, or making a comment about fertility that like one member of the couple took really positively and the other didn't. But yeah, you can see that she's in her element and she kind of knows all these people, and a lot of them owe her in some ways. And you're kind of like, Elise is going to leave this party, as she does most parties, either president of the society or chased by an angry mob.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my sister.
As you are keeping this eye on her and, making very inconsequential small talk with Jamal to justify your staying here, you notice that Sinner is coming towards you.
Cal is. Cal, I think, looks at Jamal and to be like, is there a reason that he wants to talk to you?
Jamal looks a little confused and concerned, and is like, he's wearing his sort of concerned face, so maybe something happened.
Yeah, Cal just like waits for him to approach again, expecting him to talk to Jamal, and I was like, what is the fuck? And it's like the idea of like, what is a pressing Jamal issue?
He does not come up to Jamal, but speaks mostly to Cal, but like technically to both of you, of being like, I need your help with something, but one of you is good at it and the others maybe not. So I'm actually asking for one of your help, and including the other to be polite, but I need your help with something. He comes up and speaks quietly and says, Galiginous, there's been a bit of a security issue in Metal's rooms. Doesn't seem like anything is dangerous at the moment, but I know you have an eye for these things. Would you come with me and check it out?
Cal. Yeah, she's a suspicious little bitch. Cal does like an insight check just to be like, is this really Sinner? Is something going on? Why is this man I hate trying to get me to a second location? Because she wouldn't have known Sinner doing his side quest.
Yeah. With a nat 20 insight, you see that it is in fact someone else wearing a Sinner suit.
Yeah, someone's skin Sinner.
Made out of genuine Sinner.
Made out of genuine Sinner.
Oh fuck, it's Billy Ray. Hey man.
Billy Ray is pretending to be his brother by just like standing really big. He's like on his tiptoes. He's like trying to make himself look very large. And Cal's like, Sinner, what are you doing here? Are you talking to me?
Should I? You stink the same. Should I roll insight?
Yeah.
Just smells more like dirt. It's good. I still am doing well. Rolling wise with my fucking -1, that's a 23.
All right. With a 23, you look at Sinner, and you notice him looking at May, and you're like, oh,
No one could fake that.
He doesn't want. Yeah, first of all, you're like, definitely Sinner. Nobody has that mix of longing and like a kicked puppy as Sinner does when looking at May. You see, this is probably Sinner, but you also see him looking at May and being like, oh, Cal is good at these things. He probably wanted May's help and cannot go over to her and ask. And you think that he is being genuine, in saying like essentially Metal needs help and would like you. And I think what seals the deal for you is as you kind of hesitate, is like um, I I told Metal I'd be bringing you specifically, so
Right.
she might be expecting.
Fine. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Jamal, you stay here. Please keep an eye on Elise.
I'll
Please.
I'll keep an eye on her, and I will talk about the church when I get the opportunity. Go be with Metal. And you follow Sinner?
Yep.
Okay. You glance over. You see May
I will say
is.
real quick,
Mhm.
if Cal was stalking Fish and saw them go sit in a corner, on the way out, she is going to make sure Fish is having nice quiet time in the corner.
Uh, we may get to what Fish is doing in just a moment.
Okay.
Let's get Cal where we're going first.
Yeah, she would be
I
looking for
think
Fish. We can say
yeah.
she's unsuccessful, but she is looking for Fish.
I think what most likely happens is you see Fish talking to a waiter. Um, Maybe trying to get some tail. Um,
Waiter tail.
and yeah, you follow Sinner over to the bridal side. There is what you recognize as kind of a security guard standing near the door, who immediately moves out of the way once Sinner gets close, and you disappear from the party itself into this little warren of rooms and tunnels um, um, to find a um, a, a number of people walking around. You think it's kind of like professional hair and makeup people. Some seem to be like maybe bridesmaids, although you don't recognize any of them. Um, and Sinner brings you to what was sup- obviously, for the most part, functions as a small like library, sitting room, smoking room, plotting financial domination room. You immediately are like, nobody has ever opened any of these books. Um, and you find Metal, um, who is um, uh, looking very pretty in the dress that you picked out, and looking scared and sad and embarrassed and kind of in this dress. Any movement is inherently a flounce, and so flounces up to you to go, Caligulus, you're here, and gives you a big hug.
Yes, I'm here. What's wrong?
Oh no, it's nothing wrong. Everybody was just making a big deal out of nothing. Um, Sinner like talks over her and is like, there was a potential breach at the edge of security over here, and he takes you over to a window that is covered by the blinds, and he pulls the blind back to see that the window, which to your immediate observation is like a pretty thick like security window, like not an easy like double pane by any means. It was set in there and not designed to open in any way, is like torn out and partially shattered, like big enough as in like a very small person could wiggle in or out or something like that. And yeah, Sinner says, I heard about the incident from some of the security guys, and when I came to investigate, I thought you might like to take a look as well. Guys, it's not a big deal at all, okay? That was probably done even before I came in here to start changing or anything like that. Um, we have to tell the society that uh we just have to tell the society that somebody broke their window, and I'm sure insurance or something like that will handle it. It's fine. And I don't want to worry about this when I've already got a lot on my plate right now. So let's but look at it if you want. Fine, I guess. Just let's leave it alone. I got the rehearsal.
Addressing Sinner, not Metal, Cal asked, should I be fixing it?
Let us search for any evidence that was left, and then yes, I was thinking that you would fix it or at least close the hole.
Yeah, Cal is in agreement with Sinner for the first and in her mind last time, and is just like Metal's like, no, no, fine, and Cal's like, have you had anything to eat yet? Is it daytime or evening?
It is daytime getting onto early evening. It's like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cal.
Yep.
Cal's like, have you had anything to eat today or drink? Go get something to eat. Stay in our line of sight, and I will happily let you reassure me it's nothing once Sinner and I have conducted a thorough investigation.
Give me a persuasion check.
Does this still have to be society trapped with being in a private room with my homies?
I would say that the only people you would be interacting with are for the most part people who have not joined the party yet and therefore would not have seen your introduction or your reputation. So I would say no
Okay.
minus. Even though
And
there
this
are
was
technically
persuasion?
Yes.
Yeah, that's only an 8.
Okay. With an 8, you go to one of the bridesmaids that is hanging around in the hallway, and you're like, "Can you get her some food?" And it's like, "Oh no, she's not allowed to eat in that dress. We were told very explicitly
Cal's like,
by Lady
I
Patel."
made it. It's
Yeah.
stain proof.
This woman is more afraid of Lady Dintel than she is you, a stranger she doesn't know. Eventually, I think you, through the grapevine, are able to get a stylist to be like, go get her something and then come back. But it takes a while. It's not going to be here anytime soon. Metal is mostly just going to be fretting in the background while you're doing what you're doing. All right, you want to do an investigation check?
Okay, I did have my
Sinner-
investigation as my +1, and then I stopped for the party. So let's hope that
Yep,
doesn't bite
exactly.
me.
Sinner is giving you the help action, so go ahead and roll with advantage.
Thank God.
No, Sinner is giving you the help action,
That
so
was
roll with
another nat.
disadvantage. 'Cause he sucks.
Yeah, you hate him. No, my first roll was a 1, so I was like, no. Yeah, so investigation is going to be a assuming still don't have to add my -1, it's gonna be a 21.
Okay. With a 21, all of the kind of broken glass is on the outside in the alleyway. As you just kind of lift yourself up, absolutely fucking not asking Sinner to lift you up, but to see out the window. With a 21, you think either this was done from the inside, someone very forcefully tried to bust open the window, or it was done from the outside with some sort of pulling magic. It was definitely not a like somebody throwing a rock from the outside or something like that. There was probably magic involved by the force of destruction. What you think should have happened was like the entire pane popped out and shattered, or like it got folded up, but instead, like the edge of it fully like folded in on itself and shattered to leave this hole. But yes, somebody either trying to break out or break in, and probably magic involved, so most likely a sorcerer. And you think this is the secure wing of a party where the bride is. Somebody could have been trying to break in order to steal something or plant a weapon or something else, or somebody gained access on the inside and was trying to like bust it open for somebody else to come in. I think in this moment you're very aware of the fact that you're like, the last time I was here, people were kidnapped and Metal got shot almost to death, and there was a
Yeah.
whole big thing, and this is not a safe location, no matter how much
Yeah.
everybody likes to pretend it is.
Yeah. So Cal, being so cool and so normal, turns to Metal and is like, "Would there be any motivation of killing you before the wedding?"
No? I mean, no, not that I can think of. There could be, you can sort of see Metal shift from like panicked bride into like former detective mode as she then goes, a theoretical motive would be someone else trying to marry Grave in order to get into the family. That doesn't necessarily make sense. While there have been some offers of marriage, there have not been any serious contenders up until this point, which is why we were allowed to kind of drag out the engagement a little bit. She kind of is like, not that I can think of.
Cal is like,
give me an insight check.
okay. Also,
Just
is
because
this the
your
same?
passive insight is enough.
Is this the same venue for the wedding?
Yes, you believe so.
Okay. Okay. So you said an insight.
Yep.
That's an 18.
Okay. 18 insight. Let me just double check. Metal's deception.
I love it when
Deception
you
is
say things like that.
currently +4, which brings it to 6.
Oh, baby girl.
Metal, when you say, Metal, is there any reason that somebody would kill you? She like startles a bit that you're focusing on her and asking her questions, and then is like, well, there's this motivation and this motivation and this motivation, and you're kind of like, yeah, no, that's feasible. Metal knows why this window was broken. Like, you just get that sense. You kind of look at Sinner. Sinner is looking suspiciously at Metal, looks at you, and goes, Metal, did you break this window? No, I just, yeah, does Cal jump in at any point there?
Cal is like looking at this and is like, is anybody in earshot anymore with the stylus gone?
You can, just like, you can just kind of like open the door and peek out to see if anybody is listening in if you want to. But there's
Yeah,
nobody
Cal
else
does
in
that
this
real
room
quick.
with you. There is a bridesmaid quickly hustling away as if you almost got her. So
Oh yeah.
now there is no one listening.
Yeah, Cal is like, Sinner, don't be ridiculous. Loud enough, but in a like actual like sounding annoyed, which is not hard, at Sinnered way, and then much quieter when she's like, if you want to stage a kidnapping, we can do that. I'm just saying it's pretty difficult to kidnap yourself.
I wasn't trying to stage a kidnapping. It was wedding jitters, and I haven't practiced my magic in a long time, and I just felt like the room started to feel really suffocating and closed off, and so I wanted to get some air in here, and so I blasted open the window, and I didn't think anybody would find out, and I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
Yeah, not our window.
And I will fix it. Cal goes, Sinner, have you been married?
No.
Not surprising.
Rude.
Stop the theme.
Is like, have you been married? Sinner gets kind of like a hangdog expression. It's like, no. And then you're like, not surprising. And then like, immediately snaps back to, what the fuck?
Why are you so mean?
Why are you so nasty to me? I only treat you well.
Never will be. Anyway, no, she's like, I don't. This seems not what I would expect to be pre-wedding jitters. It didn't seem to be how Elise handled hers, from what she's told me of it.
How did
Natalie,
how did Elise handle hers? Just like, you know, the groomsmen, or
no, Elise was very happy to be married. I suppose she didn't seem to. She really was mostly focusing on every single detail. I was not there, so I don't know. She looks at Metal and is like, you can just hate what you're doing and choose to do it anyways, but you have to pick one. You cannot keep straddling this fence. You can be miserable about this and you can feel like it's terrible and choose to do it anyways. Or you can be honest and walk away if it is so inconceivable to you. But this thing where you keep pretending it's okay and then it's not, it's going to cause you to continue breaking windows, probably destroy your wedding dress tomorrow, and do all of these things for lashing out. So you have to pick one. You're either unhappy in doing it anyways, or you're unhappy and you're not doing it.
give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah, little lady got him on the no-fly list. Thank God I'm somehow rolling well today. Dirty 20.
All right. With a dirty 20, you don't think Metal is ready to kind of like let this coping strategy go, but she does hear you and take in what you're saying in a way that you don't think she did previously. You have been beating around the bush being like, "Oh, if you don't like it, you can leave, how's that doing?" And now you're just going like, "Metal, it is okay to think this fucking sucks. Separately,
Just
you need
do
to make
it,
a
yeah.
choice of leaving or not. Do it." Just like very like confrontational in a way that's kind of breaking down her walls a little bit. And you see that she's thinking about it. And then she uh is like, Glitchiness, I'm just not sure I'm as strong as you.
I would never do this. Cal looks at her. She goes, I would never get you. I was avoiding arranged marriages as much as I could by just not even allowing that to be a thought in Tinnitus's head. I can never do this. If you really commit to this, you'll be braver than anything I've done. But on the other hand, if you openly oppose your family, still braver than anything I've done.
It's just, where would I go? What would I do?
Ever consider being Have you ever considered being a cleric?
I think the damp would disagree with me. I love visiting, but
We have drier temples. At least this temple is positively sunshiny.
her face kind of goes a little stony. It's like, I don't think I would like Elisa's temple. But yeah, you kind of giggle together just a little bit and laugh it off, and she takes a deep breath and says, "Thank you, Caligulus. I don't know, but I'll think about it. I can promise
You
that."
can. That is fine. You have as much time as you need. Well, you have. Cal checks. 26 hours.
Yeah.
Well, you have 26 hours. You can choose not to sleep tonight. That would give you more time.
You see like instant fear, like the fact that you actually put a time limit on it is just like a wave of dread that she quickly suppresses.
And we'll support you in any way. But for now, you can sit here and you continue to think about it, or you can go out into this crowd, potentially hear something so awful that it changes your mind, or perhaps learn some good news that convinces you that this is a good idea. And I can come with you if you like, or we can stay here. I'm just here for you.
It's at this point that there is a knock on the door.
Sinner's like, how is she so nice to Metal?
Yeah. No,
I
he's like,
breathe and she yells at me.
Okay, so I'm actually actively thinking about this as the scene is happening. Sinner is seeing this cow being tender in a way that he will never get to experience firsthand, but he knows it exists so firmly that he could never be nasty to her and will always want to be her friend because it's like, well, I know that that's who you are and you're just mean to
Yeah,
me.
who she is deep down. She's just a misandrist.
yeah, no, Sinner has to fucking go through with it because God, Cal is so much nicer to everyone that's not him.
Not so much nicer. She's meaner to Fish.
Yeah, but Sinner knows that she wants to fuck Fish, so that is a whole different dynamic.
No.
He
but
is
yes,
vaguely aware of the binder project at this time.
yes. There's a little knock on the door. Sinner kind of immediately steps away and like shadows the doorway, so he is like in a position if somebody threatening comes in, almost kind of like automatically rather than because of conscious thought. But Metal goes, "Yes, come in." One of the bridesmaids peeks her head around the corner and said, "There's a stylist who has some food for you. I told him that you're not allowed to eat in this dress, but apparently somebody, one of your friends, ordered it." She just kind of looks at Cal and Sinner. Also, your aunt has said we're ready to begin. So if you could step out, we'll get forward with the rehearsal. Right. Okay. Yes. Tell Auntie Kate I'll be there in just a minute. And as the what comes in is like 7 spinach puffs and an arrangement of cocktail shrimp. That metal
Shrimp.
shrimp instantly horks down. Um, um, the you see Metal kind of brace herself for going through with her wedding rehearsal, and she takes Cal's hand and she squeezes it a little bit. She says, "Go, find your seat. I'll think about what you said."
Thank you. I'll make sure that at least Fish and May are not too drunk.
Good, yeah. You leave as Sinner is leaving. He says, "Try to avoid breaking the window until the moment that you need to get out. Broken glass is
Oh,
very
Cal
obvious."
also mends the window.
Yeah, of course. I've also had conversations with elementalists that say they can still the air in a way that kind of muffles the breaking noise. Maybe something to look into. As as he leaves.
Cal, especially if he's not facing her, like not approvingly.
Mm-hmm. As Cal and Sinner head back out into the function, as the others see Lady Dentel grab a champagne flute and everyone, we're ready to begin. If you'll please find your seats. The wedding rehearsal will commence. And it is there that we will end today's session of Well Dressed Bones. Apologies for my voice. Thank you so much for the fun session. Hope everybody had a great time. And as a last order of business, Cal has now been seen with the bride and entering the bridal suite, and therefore is getting out of her -1 to +0. Everybody clap. Yay!
Yay!
The bride likes her. She must not be awful.
Mhm. All right, and next time we will get into all of that nonsense, and yeah, maybe have some more fun roleplay and interactions with characters. The dancing portion
Until
will start.
Patrick brings out some fucking fuck ass assassin plot and this turns into a fight. He's not
Fish
predictable at
recognize
all.
somebody. Fish recognize
Yeah,
somebody.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
but not from
aware.
we don't know from where.
Yeah, could be from Grinder. You never know.
Mm,
Their
yeah.
dance lessons. Fish is gonna kill it on the dance floor.
Yeah, maybe. All right, that is it for today's session. Goodbye.